Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome in. What's up, Bobby? Yeah, sorry about the ads. It was better to play it at the beginning before anything actually happens. Saw something you really didn't want to see. I don't think there's anything I've ever seen in an ad that I've ever wanted to see, so... Also, welcome in, Zafencer. How's it going? Thank you for the spin. Yeah, we are going to be doing some more lured in. Just working away at things. We are getting much closer to the public playtest, so we're almost there, guys. We've just got a little bit more to go. But yeah, it's just a matter of a lot of small things that'll start to add up. We need to figure out what we're gonna do with like the ocean zone and stuff, because that's kind of a little problematic right now. Just because there's a couple things we have to get implemented before ocean fish really makes sense. So might start working on all of that. I want to make it so you can choose salt water instead of your tanks. So that's going to be a big thing. But yeah, we got to figure all that out. But we'll try. Anyways, the Coden Lua you on YouTube, welcome in. How's it going? Good. Solid alertness, good attention. Yeah, it's going pretty good. I've been doing a lot of videos on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. They've all been doing really good. So it's coming along. We're now at over 2,000 wish lists. So pretty epic. Still not at our goal yet, but to be fair, we haven't done any no content creator stuff yet. There's not even a playable version of the game for most people. So I think we're on good pace so far. But yeah, hopefully once the playtest is out and stuff, and maybe people start like making videos, that'll continue. Not new headphones. These are the I mean, I guess relatively new. They're the HyperX Alpha 2s. They're pretty solid. I've enjoyed them so far. They're wireless. The battery life is stupid crazy. The battery life is like 300 hours or something like that. So it's pretty good. I just wear them for weeks and don't charge them ever because I don't need to. So yeah. But I wanted to get these for the battery life specifically just so that they're resistant to going bad. Because that's the first thing that always kind of dies when I get wireless headphones, is just the fact that the battery life just goes away. And then I have to keep it constantly plugged in. So then what's the point of a wireless headset? But yeah, I've enjoyed them. They sound pretty good. I wish they were a little more open back so that I could like hear things around me better. That is one thing I liked about my Astros, because it made it really easy to hear myself talking. It does have like a mic pass-through thing here that I can activate, and I'm using it right now. It works okay, but you know, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Maybe one day I'll get some different headphones, but years and years in the future. It would be cool to get some like really high-end open back headphones, but those are expensive because they've got like the crazy like the crazy ones, but they're like $500 or something. It's like wild. And also, none of those are wireless, which is kind of annoying. I do like wireless headphones, I'm not gonna lie. I wish there was a really solid open back wireless headset, but most of the time wireless headphones are always like gaming headphones, so noise cancellation is the thing. But it's fine. I can just do the classic, you know, boom. Head cup half off the ear, and now I can hear everything, so it's fine. Anyways. Yeah, time to work on the game. Let's go over to the streaming view. Alright, so we're at a good spot right now, but yeah, we gotta figure out like what's going on with the ocean stuff, because that's kind of the one like gameplay flaw. All the stuff we've added recently is good, like the tip jar is nice, just to kind of clarify that mechanic. We got the character customization. Research stuff is going good. I do need to draw the icon for the ocean, which I might just do really quick, just so we don't forget about it. Apparently I have a billion errors. Oh, I don't have Steam open. House Flipper is 100% off. Oh, let's go. I think I have House Flipper 2. I don't think I have 1. Yeah, I gotta go grab that. That's pretty cool. Wonder if it'll say right here. Oh yeah, look guys. No way. Let's go. Hold on, let me see what this message is. Let's freaking go, guys. I Am Jesus Christ is out on Steam. For you, my son, will you finally find peace in this world of my creation? Become your older brother and ascend to spiritual enlightenment. Let's go. Freaking epic, guys. That game hasn't been in development for eons. It's a new Long Dark episode. Oh yeah, the House and Home Fest. That's probably why it's 100% off right now. Let's go do it. $0. I will buy that. Never mind, I already own House Flipper. I forgot. Well, that's fine. Hey, Game Dev Bull, welcome in. Before you spend 5 hours on Starground, let's go. Yeah, let me know if you run into any problems or anything, or any feedback at all. Always appreciate it. What is the Jesus game? It's been in development for like so long. There's that one funny GIF. You might have seen it. They changed all the GIFs and stuff. But they've been working on it for like over a decade or something. I am not a religious person, so I know nothing about any of this, but I think it would be kind of funny to play it and just try and understand what's happening, because I have no idea. But yeah, it's I can't believe it's out. It's pretty insane. But it's simulator, Jesus Simulator. That's what it is. You just I guess you do the things that happened in the Bible. That's all I know. Anyways. Ratza, welcome in. How's it going? What is going on? Let's see, I've only had one small thing. It was a visual bug where the conveyor was pointing left, but the items were moving right. Yeah, I've heard that issue has happened before. I've tried to replicate it, and it's been so hard. I don't know how to replicate that bug. But yeah, sometimes that happens where the items go backwards, and I don't know why. But yeah, I'll write it down. I'll try and keep trying to find the reason for that. It's been difficult, though. Let's see, what's this new update? Search toolbar button, filter queries. Import files. Cool stuff. Ooh, toggle line numbers. Okay. Change vault, manage vaults. That's good. Cool stuff. I guess you can do Obsidian on the command line now, which is very interesting. For me, that would defeat the whole purpose, but yeah. Anyways. Splitters are apparently inconsistent. I haven't been able to replicate that, and I haven't heard anyone else have that problem, so I'm not sure if that's still happening with the splitters, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, free house flipper. Pretty cool. Yeah, these are the assets for that other game. All right, so we are going to make an icon for the ocean because it's been missing and it's time. Let's go grab the last icon that we used, just to use as a base for the size and everything. The chef has arrived. Where is it? Should be like icon river. There it is. All right, so what does an ocean look like? Well, I can tell you this much. It's water. So I think we just fill all this in. And we do like water at the bottom and then like the sun setting on the ocean. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm putting down? All right. There's the horizon. Add the sun. Setting on the horizon. Then now we need some shading. Just a lot of horizontal lines. That's the ocean. Pretty epic. It's pretty much all we really need to do here. Doesn't have to be super wacky, this icon. I guess we could like do some weird anti-aliasing stuff. That'll be fine. And then I'll do a little bit of stuff on the side. Select all this. Okay, sorry, let me see everything here. I'm sure if something, Humble Bundle has a Godot bundle. Don't need the entire thing, but the 4-item bundle has courses on plugins. Okay, assets, Blender stuff, shaders, and controllers. They're useful enough to spend like 16 bucks. It's hard to say. I mean, I think it really depends on the specifics of exactly what they are. But yeah, Blender stuff, shaders. I mean, honestly, I would say probably not, just because those are all things that you can find for free. You know, there's like plenty of free character controllers and asset Blender plugins and stuff. So it sounds like maybe not the best value, I would say. But yeah, it just depends. I mean, if you can see yourself using those things, then maybe it's worth it. But yeah, that's just what I am thinking at first glance or whatever. Not glance, because I'm not looking at it, but you know what I mean. Have I ever used Sprite? I have, and it's good. I always recommend it for people wanting to start learning pixel art, but I personally, I just don't like how it's a very like, obviously it's specialized for pixel art, and that's the whole vibe, right? So it's good for that if you're literally only doing pixel art. But I think the problem is that like I'm doing a lot of things in addition to pixel art, right? So sometimes it's just a little, there's a couple things I don't personally like about it. And it doesn't mean that it's bad or anything. I think it is a really good program, but yeah, I want something a little better for doing non-pixel art. And that's why I use Krita instead of A-Sprite. I would use A-Sprite if literally the only thing I was ever drawing was pixel art, but that's just not the case most of the time, right? I don't know how I feel about the cloud up there. I think I might get rid of that. Player has credit card request, player credit card, let's go. I don't know, maybe I'll do a couple like smaller clouds. Maybe like a little guy back here in the distance. I don't know, maybe something like that. Then can I anti-alias this? Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're gaming. I don't know if I want to do like a... I think that'll work for the ocean icon. It's good enough. Icon ocean. Yeah, and I don't spend much time in Godot yet, busy with my real education. Yeah, it'll also require me to sign up to yet another education platform. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think, sounds like it might not be the best play right now, at least, yeah. Let's not do that. Okay, so now we're gonna go back into research. I just prefer Pixelorama's flow more, that's fair. I always think the best tool that you can ever use is just the one that you like the most. Like using the most, really. That's the only thing that matters. People make incredible stuff in programs that are kind of traditionally seen as bad or whatever, like MS Paint. There's been some absolutely wild artworks that people have created in that program, even though it's really terrible for it, you know. But that's the thing, it just doesn't matter. If you're comfortable with the program and it's doing everything that you need it to do, then that's always going to be the best program to use. So, but yeah, here we go, the ocean. So we need another thing now branching off from the ocean, which is saltwater tanks. So we're gonna work on the icon for that now. Also, Steven, welcome in. How's it going? Okay, so I think for this, I want to show off that it's salt. So I think I'm gonna have a salt shaker up at the top pouring salt down into a tank. I might do a little more of an interesting perspective here. It's really hard to see that on the gray background. All right, so this is our salt shaker. Let's undo that. Make all this like metal, silver. Then this is gonna have like a glass outline. All this in. Something like this. I think I might actually flatten this a little bit more, just so it's like more perspective. Let's kind of round this out a little more. That'll get the job done, probably. Let's move it down. People make sick artwork in the level comments in Super Mario Maker 2. Oh, really? Yeah, the tool really doesn't matter. The only reason I swapped to Krita was like very, very specific things. It's not that paint.net, which is what I was using before, couldn't do what I wanted to do. But I just felt like Krita did it better. Or at least for the stuff I was doing, right? Like maybe to some people, paint.net is still a better option. It just really depends. So. But yeah, don't really listen to people that say one tool is far superior in every use case, because this is not real. Like, obviously, tools, there are things that they are better at. But every single tool and literally anything ever created always has some kind of drawback. So choosing a tool is always just a matter of which drawbacks can you deal with. But yeah. Going good, been lazing around all day. That sounds kind of nice, honestly. I would like to take a break someday. Not yet. Still lured in to work on. Oh yeah, I forgot this is gonna be filled with water. Let's do that. By the way, do I have some mod recommendations? Yeah, that rework Minecraft in a good way. Yeah, BTA definitely does that. I think it does it really well. I've always had a fun time with BTA. Trying to think what else is a good example, like along the lines of BTA. So GT 977, thank you for the follow. Yeah, that's definitely a good one. I would say I do like a lot of the things that Crate Mod does. It's not necessarily like one of those, you know, packs that redo the game or whatever, but I do think it changes up the like format of Redstone in a really good way. So I would definitely say that mod for sure. Because it feels very vanilla coded, and I think that's one of the reasons I like Crate Mod so much. Just because it feels like it integrates with vanilla content extremely well. So but yeah, what else would I say? I mean, I can think of specific mods and stuff. Okay, I swear the chef was already here, so I think sometimes he dings multiple times. I gotta fix that. I'm trying to think like what else would be a good example of that. I mean, there's always the classic mods. There's stuff like apple skin, like the more quality of life things, and those are always really good too. You can play Crate, but it looks harder than Factorio. It potentially can be. I think the thing that's great about Crate Mod is it's so open-ended. Like most games, automation games and stuff, they give you pre-existing machines and tools to do specific things, right? So let's say, for example, in Factorio, I want to refine some oil or something. There is an oil refining Crate Mod though, so that's not a good example. Let's say that we want to mine some resources, right? Factorio is just like, hey, here's a mining machine and it'll mine all the stuff for you, right? And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but Crate Mod does it different where it's like, they don't just give you the tools to do things. They give you like components and you have to engineer your own tools. And I really like that aspect of the mod pack, or not, it's not a pack, mod. Just because it's so fun and you get to engineer things and it's really cool. And Crate goes beyond just like functional things, right? Like it goes into like you can like move walls and doors and do all sorts of physical things, which is always really cool. So that's another thing that is really epic with Crate Mod. But yeah, it's a really good example, I think, of how to do automation and just any kind of like what would you call that, like whatever engineering mechanic. I always think it's, you know, something like Redstone. I think doing it how Crate does, where it's just a bunch of individual components, is so much cooler. Like creativity wise and stuff, it makes me so much more creative. I have to like solve problems and figure things out, you know. I think it's really cool. Let's see, I've spent the past 2 days setting up a cybersecurity home lab for a Udemy course, so yeah. Had hoped to get through a lot of it, but haven't even started the cybersecurity yet. That's cool though, yeah. Yeah, home lab stuff. I used to have to set up a lot of stuff like that when I was taking my university cybersecurity stuff. I'd have to like create all these virtual. We had like a portal. We ran everything through to do it. I don't remember what it was called or anything, but it let us create a bunch of like simulating different like exploits and stuff. It was pretty cool. Yeah, assembling machines looks hard to get into. It's not like Factorio where it's very large scale. Like Factorio is all about just how fast can you do things. But Create is really like, I think you get rewarded by taking your time and like thinking things through more. So yeah, it's definitely cool. I think if you're planning on doing stuff and like maybe even reworking Redstone, you should definitely play the mod and give it a solid try because it's pretty cool. So why are we salting a tank? This is just an icon for the research for saltwater tanks. So I figured the most obvious way to get the concept across is by just tank plus salt. Right? But yeah, we're gonna kind of get the ocean mechanics and stuff working, hopefully today. No, I don't like that. Let's do... Okay. So... I don't know how I feel about that. Get rid of those. Although I think I will change this pure black into like a blue like that, yeah. Okay, and then we're just gonna do this guy up here. And I think that's pretty much it for this icon. So this is just gonna be icon salt water. Divine Journey 2, interesting. I'm trying to think if I've played that one. It's hard to say. One thing that's always tricky about like choosing or a question like that is like a lot of mods are usually designed to work alongside other mods, you know? So there's not like a whole lot of mods I would say that like completely rework the entire game just by themselves. Yeah, what else? There is like that one mod that changes the way that what you call it, enchanting works. It uses like gem slots instead, and I think that's kind of neat. I can't remember what it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but if you, yeah, I'm sure we could find it. Thank you for the cheese time, Bobby. I don't think it's called cheese time. I'm gonna say ocean is required, and this will fill your tanks with salt water. And it'll cost like 1,000 probably. Alright, so this should branch off from the ocean now. Let's see what happens. It's like there's less cheese. I mean, that's just how much cheese there is. If you keep doing it more and more cheese gets piled on. Oh god. Too much cheese. It's what you deserve. You cheese goobers. Alright, but now in here it just has that little saltwater icon, so we can fill up our tanks with salt water. Okay. Oh yeah, we have like the whole new fishing mechanic where you can choose the angle and stuff. Never enough cheese. I don't know, guys. This might be wild, but I think there is a thing as enough cheese, unfortunately. All right, come on. Let's catch an epic fish. I know. I'm sorry to say it's a horrific statement, but Fish caught. So I think literally the only thing you can catch here right now is herring, which, you know, is a bruh moment. So I need to add more fish that you can catch there. But let's like get it set up so you can actually fill your tanks with salt water now. So I think what we're gonna do is just have another drop down in here for like liquid type. And then we'll have to check and see what kind of fish or what their required water type is. So I'm gonna go into here now for all the fish. We're gonna have a new default, which is required liquid. And this is gonna be fresh water. Yeah. So then specifically just for the herring, because he's a saltwater guy, he's gonna require salt water. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is go inside of the tank menu, and in the settings section we can add a new thing. Oh, it's funny that it does the noise. I don't... What? Oh, it's doing it in game. I was like, what? How does that happen? Okay. So we're just going to duplicate this H box and change this label to liquid type. And then this will automatically get populated with all the different liquid types. And this should be on... These are all on stop on the mouse. Set all of these to ignore. I don't know why those are like that. Okay, so in the ready event, we're just going to fill them out. Can you tap the glass to scare the fish? Not yet. I mean, it's something I could add, I guess. But then when you select on them, I don't know if that would make any sense. I'll see what I can do. So I think it's right here. We loop through the attributes table. Yeah, then we set metadata and the icon. So what is in our attributes table? Because I might just do, I'll just throw the liquid types in there. In case I ever include some other things alongside them. So li dot liquid dot fresh water. Okay. And this will have a couple things. It'll probably have a sprite. Actually, there's no sprite, but it'll have a name. Fresh water. It's not gonna have a type. I guess I'll add another one in here called liquid. So back into here, we'll give this type liquid. Okay, and that's gonna need an icon. We'll draw the icons later. Ugh, salt water. Let's type liquid. Not gonna worry about the icons momentarily. All right, so back into here now. We are gonna... Yeah, see, why does it keep dinging even though he's here? There's something going on with that. We'll fix it. Oops. Tank attributes dot liquid. Then we're gonna add it into the other things. Your attention, please. Attention on what? All right, so we have substrate button, background button. Let's do add-on ready, var liquid button. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. And let's rename this. I don't want to be background setting. Liquid setting. Yo, thank you for the hydrate. Okay, so we'll have a reference now to our liquid button. Thank you for the posture check. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna say that dot add item entry dot name and item ID. Oh, right, that's, yeah. Okay, so we add that, and then there's a couple other things we gotta do. So we want to set, we'll do all this stuff again. Liquid button, liquid button, liquid button. So get item index, item ID, set item metadata. That's equal to our ID, so that's good. And then the icon, just entry.icon. Okay. So if we open this up now, we should see that button here. It's so long since Project Check. Yeah, it's been a little bit. When will I start the translations? We can do that really soon, for sure. Wait, why did this die? Oh, did the wrong type. Yeah, I mean, if everyone's interested in starting to contribute to that, I can totally open it up for everybody. I just need to create a new Google Sheet and stuff and do it there, I guess. I have thought about doing it through like GitHub and stuff, but I think there's problems with that. Like GitHub, not a lot of people have GitHub. Usually only programmers have GitHub, so I don't want to force everybody to make a GitHub account. Literally everybody has a Google account, so I have considered doing also like a custom tool that I might program that would like make doing it easier, because essentially what it would do is like it would just prompt you with the next key that needs to be translated, right? And it would definitely make things easier. But it's a lot of programming and it would probably take me a long time to make the tool, so maybe we don't do that. Yeah, I think we'll just do another Google Sheet. But yeah, we can start on that really soon. I can go ahead and just create it so that we can start filling it out. And we will call this Blurred In Translation. And we'll have all the keys, English. I don't remember. Did I call that key over on this? Okay, it just doesn't have anything, but that's fine. We'll do key. So yeah, we can start filling all this out now. All right. We'll do restricted just because I had a lot of issues before. Okay. But yeah, I'll go ahead and anybody in stream right now anyone want to join in on the translations, I can send it to you, Zafencer, just to get started on things. Let me do that right now. Obviously, we've got to go through and fill out everything with the keys, so that's going to take a while. But eventually we'll get there. I don't think Lured In is hopefully going to have as many translations required as Starground had. Just because we don't have like a billion different items and buildings. I mean, there will be quite a few. Obviously, we've got like all the upgrade names and the decorations and stuff. But I don't know how people are going to translate the names of fish. Because that might be a little difficult. I'm not sure yet. Because like, does Minnow have a translation into other languages? So we'll see about that. Yeah, anyways. At least we'll start with the basic stuff. And I think we're gonna do everything with a key. Before, with like the general on Starground, I think we had I'm probably gonna, yeah, totally change the way that we translate all this stuff. We'll see. Languages have their names for fish. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess I just am unaware if that is a thing or not, to be completely honest. Anyways, yeah, if anyone wants to join in on that, let me know. Right now there's no like formatting or anything on this sheet. We literally just created it, so yeah. Yeah, you'll have to send in a request. We're doing it that way just because before, when we were doing the other one where anybody could just join from the link, there were a couple issues where people would give random people the link and then they started editing the sheet. So we're just going to keep it restricted mode so that you have to request access, because I don't want literally anybody just randomly getting access to the sheet. So, and then I don't have to worry about keeping the link secret or whatever. It just doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll add, what is it? I think it's for check. Let's see. CS. Oops. Oops. I keep shifting between the backs up. I'm not sure if I'm out of time, but I can help translate your Bulgarian. You're totally welcome to, but don't feel like if, you know, it is a lot of keys that we will have to translate. You know, I would expect at least a couple hundred, so as long as you're up for that, then you're totally welcome to join, but yeah. I'm sure we'll have like a couple other ones. I'll have to see. I wonder if there's anything I'd want to do different this time around with the translation. I don't know. I might go ahead and do an announcement on Discord just for anybody that wants to join with the link, so you can request access if you want. But yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of keys. I guess we'll just start with the main menu. And some of these are probably already translated for us from Starground, but you know, play, options, quit, the basics. We've got general, oops, audio. It's gonna be so many to do. FPS limit, UI wiggle, window mode, and then windowed, and full screen. Skip main menu, normal font, X on left, accumulate tank grime. So that's all the options, and then we've got master volume, SFX volume, UI volume, on focus lost. So that's all the main menu keys, I believe, but that's the easy part. So yeah, we got Starground translation reviews. Yeah, that should help a lot. So hopefully we can kind of I don't know, it would be neat if we did like I set up just like a Python script to loop through all the keys we already have in Starground, and if any of them match, we just import them into the learn-in sheet. I might do something like that, because we might as well reuse them. I mean, a lot of these are probably going to be very similar. There's a couple that are not the same, like SFX and music instead of music of volume and stuff, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, for now, we'll just put everything in by hand. Yeah, I'll get started on that soon. We probably won't have any translation stuff done or working before the playtest starts, but hopefully for launch we can start, or the demo especially, we can start working toward that, so yeah. Now one thing I want to do here is that if we have fish in the tank and we change the type, I want it to like prompt the player and be like, hey, if you change your type, all your fish will go back to your inventory, you know? So I gotta do that. So I guess I'll just prompt the player as soon as they click on that button. It'll say, hey, are you sure you want to do this? And then we'll only apply it after that point. Throw old nodes and alert in and save any string to local file. That honestly, maybe. I mean, it would be hard though, because a lot of them, I don't know if they would make sense as... But maybe that's something I could do. But I'd have to like load through all the menus and stuff, because not every node exists by default. But maybe. It is a valid thing. So I'll write it down as a potential idea. But yeah. I'll try and automate the process of this game a little bit more just to make translation easier, because it's a lot of work with Starground. Every time I add something in, I have to manually write down the new key every time and stuff. It's just annoying. Okay. So anyways, on this, what's the signal here? This is background item selected. So I want to connect this up in the tank menu. And I want to keep track of a couple things. So like var last liquid, right? It's going to be a string, stuff like that. And then I want to say like if global.fish tank fish data at tank ID that size is greater than 0, then I want to prompt the player. So I'll say var accept liquid change. And this will be like the final thing that actually changes it. New liquid. Let's type string. This is not a var, it's a function. Okay, so now we have to make another menu, like a pop-up menu. One thing that's a little broken right now is that I accidentally did this when I was messing with the menus, but if you click on this button to open the pop-up menu, it closes the other menu again, so that's not ideal. So I want to check this out, see if we can fix that. So if we go into Ascension menu here, somewhere in here is the pop-up menu. Oh, is it just like I think I just have a global menu for that. Yeah, right here, I just set that stuff. Then I just await. Okay, so... Money, research. So yeah, I just set the text here. And then I toggle it on. But yeah, the thing is then it closes the old menu. Which I guess I'll just make it so specifically for the pop-up menu, it will reopen the old menu after you close it. I'd like it if it just didn't close the old menu when we did it. I'm sure there's a way we can figure this out. Yeah, because I say if not menu type that, I say hide all UI. Visible's true. So it shouldn't be closing the other menus, I mean. Right? Because hide all UI is going to toggle all the other UIs off. And see, I don't set an active menu right here. Is it just not set to my pop-up menu? Let's go check. Pop-up menu. Let's see what the type of this menu is. Ah, that's why it's not even set as a pop-up menu. So let's see if that fixes the problem. Yeah, so that actually does fix it. Okay, so is that going to work with controller? Let's just make sure. And I still got to fix the mouse thing. That's another big problem right now. Okay, but it does work. So let's go ahead and do the thing over here now. So for pop-up menu, not pop-up menu. I can set a tank menu. Also, will you push the update for the public playtest? Yeah, I'm gonna try and like get this update finished. Hopefully like Sunday or something like that, and then you guys can mess around with the update and just identify any issues, and then I'll probably open the playtest like Wednesday or Thursday. Just so we can identify any major issues before everybody starts playing. Okay, so size greater than 0, we're gonna say global dot global UI dot pop up. How did I do it before in the Ascension menu? Ascension menu. Let's take a look. Okay, this is what I did. So I'm gonna do that again. So hey, bro, welcome in. How's it going? Yeah, the game's going good. We're just working on making it so you can do like different liquid types inside of your tanks now. What did I do here before? Did I have warning or something? Yeah, warning. I'll keep that. I'll say warning. Changing your liquid type will remove all your... Return all your tanks fish back into your inventory. Do you wish to continue? Alright. So then, if that happens, then we wait accepted. Then we say accept liquid change. With a new one that we selected. Otherwise, if we don't have any fish in it, we just immediately say accept liquid change. Then we have to pass in the new liquid. So we're gonna do this, say var new liquid is equal to... So we're getting an index of the new thing that was selected. Now the water type be Jello. Eventually I think it'd be fun to do wacky liquid types like that, so it would be kind of cool. So eventually. What is it, like get meta? Oh, it's liquid button. Dot, what is it? Get item metadata, there it is. And then I can pass in the index. And now new liquid is a string. Okay. So I think if I don't do anything, it just won't continue this, as far as I know. I'm not 100% sure, actually. Vision Candyland, yeah, that would be pretty cool. Eventually. Let's go look back to the tree menu. So yeah, I do just do that. Well, I wonder if this is now calling it multiple times. I'm not sure. I don't know, I'll have to see. It'll probably be fine. Let's try it out, I suppose. It's a new liquid. Let's see what happens. So it should pop it up. Let's see. So if I have fish in my tank, then I go to do it. Changing your liquid type will return all your tank's fish back into your inventory. Then if I say no, we'll have to like set it back, right? So whenever I do this, I want to immediately set it back to whatever the last liquid is. And I don't necessarily want to say last liquid, I just want to say last index, I think. It's going to be an int. So, let's see. So I want to say, liquid button, oops, dot selected is equal to last index. And then only if it's a success, then we continue on, right? So if this gets ran, we say liquid button dot selected is equal to index again. Same here. Then I guess new liquid has to happen before that happens. Okay. So I think that should work. And then, yeah, that's going to be the new liquid type. And this is where we'll say like global.tank settings at tank ID dot liquid type is equal to new liquid. So that should all work. Let's try it out. So if I click on fresh water, and apparently that's just not allowed. Does this not have selected? It does. The value of type null. Oh, because last index didn't exist before. Whoopsies. So something we need to do in ready now. We're actually not in ready, in a changed, wherever that is. If we're opening the menu, I need to set it to be that. Snooze the ad. So liquid button dot selected is equal to, I mean, I guess we have to find it. Find which index it is. So find liquid button dot item count. Get item. Yeah, I guess item count. Let's see. Super is just a function to call the parent function when you're inheriting a script. So yeah, we have to find the index of what the liquid was. So we're going to loop through all the buttons in here. We're going to say var idx is liquid button dot get item index using the ID, which should be just I think. And then we can say var let's see here. And then we say if global.tank settings index tank ID dot get liquid type will default to li dot liquid dot freshwater is equal to liquid button dot get item metadata at idx. Then we know that that's the one. So I'm gonna get var index here. Then selected. That should just be like this index here. Plus equals 1, so we break, and then say selected is equal to index. Hopefully that works now. Let's see what happens. Oh, and also we have to say whatever last index is also equal to index. So when I open this, now we should know which thing we're selecting. So freshwater, if I click on saltwater, it'll warn us. And if I click no, okay, it seems like it's still changed for some reason, even though it shouldn't have. So let's go figure out why. So when I select it, I say, here, what is it complaining about? IDX -1. Okay. Get item metadata. What's going on here? So it just couldn't find it, I guess. Get item index. That might have been just at the ready event or whatever. I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. Here's something I want to do here because it's getting annoying. Embed the window. I don't know why it's not actually saving the index that we're on. Excuse me. So I open it, and okay, and then it does run those errors. So what does it think that that index is? Right? Let's print it out. And it's just not printing anything. So, okay. I don't know why that's not working. It's a little weird. We say liquid button. Okay. Dot item count. And it's at line 300. So, trying to call get item metadata. And apparently this is returning -1 for ID. So what is the initial ID that we're setting? Maybe it's not what I think it is. Going to ready. Item ID. Okay, so yeah, it's not going to be any of those. I see. That seems a little weird how I'm doing this. Because I'd have to know the ID, like, down there. Snooze the ad. How else do I want to do this? I could set the item ID differently here. Instead of just setting it to 0, I could say it's substrate button dot item count +1. So if our new ID is equal to that. Or actually just literally set it to item count, right? Yeah. Then that's the regular ID. Okay, I think this is going to work better. I don't know really why I was doing it like this before. I don't think I use item ID like that anywhere, so we should be okay. Let's try that again. So it should just be equal. It should just go 0 to 1 or whatever. Oh, and I messed it up though. I messed it up. Let's go fix that. This should be liquid button.item count and background button.item count. Okay, let's try again. All right, so now I should be able to do that. Let's see. There we go. So now it remembers the proper index. So when I click saltwater, if I hit yes, it'll change it to saltwater. But then if I like try and change it back, yeah. So that's working now. So a couple more things we got to do. When we do actually change it, I need to update whatever our last index was. So we're going to say right here, last index now is going to be equal to the new index. So I'm going to pass that along, or I'll just do that here. The last index is index. Last index is index. So now that I change this, it should work properly. So if I change to saltwater, it stays on freshwater. Then now, if I go to saltwater and go to freshwater, it stays on saltwater. Cool. Yeah, I just want to prompt the player with that warning, because it would be a little annoying if you accidentally hit that and then all your fish got removed from the tank, so... but then when there's no fish in the tank, you can see it does not prompt the player, because it doesn't... You don't need to remove anybody. So that's working pretty well. Yeah, I think that's it. And then now, whenever we do change the liquid type, I want to go ahead and remove all the fish from the tank. So I'm going to say for in global dot, let's see, wherever I remove a fish, remove tank decoration. This is where I do it right here. Okay. So what is this? Global tank? What is that? Okay, that's just the specific selected object. So yeah, we're gonna say tank fish data at index tank ID. That's gonna give us a list of all our IDs. So I want to say erase that ID. I guess that's how I do it. I think I just want to do this. While global.tankfish data, right? Tank ID dot is not empty. I'm gonna say var fish is global.tankfish data tank ID dot pop front. And then now I can say I don't have to even bother erasing or queuing free an object. But I will say this. So add fish. And that's going to be, I think, just the ID of the fish, like that, I think. So I do that. Then after I'm done with all this, I want to say this tank fish removed. Let's see if that works. Hopefully that's what data we have in there. It might actually just be a list of references to objects in there. I think that might be what it is. We're about to find out if this crashes. Yeah, it didn't actually remove the fish. A little peculiar. I think it's because it is formatted that way. So I'm just going to print out what fish is, just to know. And I think it's probably going to be a reference to an object. Oh, but now I think there isn't any fish in here, huh? So it did work. I think. But here, what did tank fish remove do? Okay. So I'm not actually deleting all my fish. I don't know if this menu has a reference to, yeah, fish objects. There we go. Then back down to that bottom function. So we remove all the fish, emit the signal, and then the next thing is for I in fish objects i.queueFree. And that should do it. So let's do some testing, shall we? All right, so if we have, let's put some fish into this tank. So we have 10,002 minnows. So we should see it return back to 10,002, right? So I go to swap it. Yes. All the fish are gone. And now I should have 10,002 minnows. Yeah. So it looks like it's working. it'll just return all the fish back into your inventory. Because now there's limitations on what fish can go in here, right? So if we try and put like, that's the next thing we got to get working. So if we're selected on saltwater and we try and put a freshwater guy in, then it's going to, you know, scream and say, hey, you can't do that. So that's the next thing. And that died because apparently he was already freed, which is really weird, actually. Ooh. Wait a minute. So I put him in there. And then I move back and somehow he's still in the list. Oh, I guess because I'm just queuing free, but I'm not like removing them from the list. So I'll do the same thing I did right here. Well, fish objects dot size is greater than 0. I'll just say var fish is fish objects dot pop front and say fish dot queue free. And just to make this more clear, I'm just going to say dot size is greater than 0. All right, that should work now. Hopefully. Let's put a fish in there. Boom. So I move him to saltwater. Boom. He's gone. And if I move back, why is it still dying? Update fish. So I emit tank fish removed. And then in this one, I say update fish with the ID. Then apparently it's getting null. I'll say if fish, then queue free the fish. I'll try that. I think it's because it didn't actually update the silhouette. So a little weird. Let's move off to the side so we can see the tank as we do this stuff. We can clearly see that the fish is in there in the silhouette and in here. So if I change to saltwater, yes, the silhouette's gone. Now if I change back to freshwater, yeah, nothing happens. Okay, I don't think that bug actually would ever happen again. I think it's just because of the order I did things in, but it seems like we're good now. I might also throw in some like particles here for when you have like a specific liquid type selected, because like I guess how am I supposed to know that this is a saltwater tank, right? I might just add in some little particles that move around like there's salt in the water. What is this? Who sent me a message? Oh, that's just CS, okay. Okay, but we're getting there. Let's draw icons for freshwater and saltwater. Now, the size of those icons, I think, are actually smaller than normal. So, we want to do... I think we have those in here. They're just like little boxes, these. They're 24 by 24. So, that's what we're going to do for these icons. I'm going to say 24 by 24. And we're just going to draw a droplet of water. We'll do like a 16 pixel drop. That's like a little too high up. I guess something like that. I don't really like how that looks, though. Oops. Oh, no, that's fine. That's a little better. I think the sphere at the bottom's just too big. Let's do a 14 instead, then. Like, boom. And we'll round it out. Now we'll do 2 pixels down. It just feels a little better to me. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be sort of our standard water drop icon for all the liquid types, I guess. We'll shade it, do all the stuff. So the regular freshwater guy, I think, is going to be pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to be regular blue water. And then I think for salt water, we'll do like a more kind of tinted cyan. I might actually do this, like round at the top, the drop. Just think I like the smooth look a little better. I'll make it taller to compensate. Actually, instead of doing that, let's do this. Let's just get that up to the top, and then we'll just literally split the two, like boom. Yeah, that's good. Okay, shading time. So this is a sphere. It'll probably look like this. I suppose. Then now we're going to do another dark region down here. It looks a little goofy right now, but I'm going to swap out these colors, I think. Let's do that. Yeah, I think I want these colors actually to be right up next to each other. They're making anti-alias and stuff. This guy should be more like that. Maybe. We will see. Yeah, I could swap this out for that color. Do that there, and then that. That reminds me more of salt water, in my opinion. I might do a line there then. Yeah, I guess this guy will work. Sure. So icon, freshwater. Oops. And then now we're just going to do some color changes to make it look like salt water. And I might add in like some little white particles, just to kind of give like a salty vibe, you know? Nah. Nah. Maybe some of these would be okay. I do want a textural difference as well as color, just because it's never a good idea to only rely on just color for indicating things. I see some developers do that, and I'm always like, man, don't do that. What if somebody can't see colors? All right. So now back into the attributes table. We're just going to add some new icons in here. So sprites. Icon freshwater. And here, icon salt water. I don't know which one it is. It's that one, okay. Let's see what this looks like. All right, so now if we go in here in settings, we can choose the liquid type. Boom. Pretty epic. All right, so I mean that's working. So I guess let's just make it now so when you change the type, you like there's rules on what fish can be put in there, right? So if I try and put like a freshwater goldfish into here, it should say like not allowed. This is a saltwater tank. What have you done? You know, you get the idea. Okay. So yeah, now you have to choose what types of tanks you've got going on, which I think will be fun. And then eventually later down the line, I imagine we're going to be adding in a bunch more liquid types. I don't know if we'll do like different liquid types for like brackish water. I think that's kind of too extra. I might just have some fish that can live in multiple different types of water. Yeah, eventually I think we'll do like lava. Crazy, wacky stuff like that, right? Maybe we even do like more of like a terrarium vibe where it's like air is the liquid, so that you can do stuff like turtles and stuff. We'll see, because I'm pretty sure turtles have to breathe air. I don't actually know. Say welcome in everybody. A fog fish? Or you mean a frog fish? Or unless a fog fish is a different thing. Yeah, we do have frog fishes in the game actually. Where are those guys? Somewhere in here. I have them. Did I draw him and not add him into the list of... Yeah, I don't think I did yet. But I have drawn a frogfish. Right here. So he'll be in the game. Oh, fogs, and you can only find them in thick morning fog? Okay, okay. Yeah, maybe. I do want to do more weather types. Right now we've only got cloudy, rainy, and sunny. But I think it'd be cool to maybe even do fog also. Just some different conditions for catching fish, so... Yeah, we'll have to add in like the bestiary eventually so you can get an overview of all the fish and how to catch them and stuff like that, so... anyways, let's get the next step of this freshwater, saltwater stuff working. So, if I put in like a guy that is saltwater, like the herring, it should just work. But, whenever I put in a different guy now, I'm gonna have to reflect that. So if I try and put in like a carp into a saltwater tank, it should scream and say, don't do that. So I think another thing we're gonna have to do now let's go back into the items table. And instead of having one specific liquid type, I'm just gonna change this to allowed liquids, right? So li liquid.freshwater is the default allowed liquid, but some of these guys I might want multiple allowed liquids because there's like subspecies or like fish that live in brackish water, for example. Like some species of salmon are like that, so it would just make a lot of sense to do that. But like herring, he can only be in salt water. But yeah. Who knows where they go when the sun disperses the fog, though? Yeah. Underwater. They go deeper. Should just let it die in the fish that aren't in the right water type. I don't think I ever want fish to die in this game like that. We'll see. Types crawling. Okay. So hopefully this should work now. And actually, I forgot this needs to be an array because there's multiple liquid types. So back up here, do that as well. Boom. Rock and Stone. I love Deep Rock Galactic. I would like to play more Deep Rock at some point. Okay, so Now we go back into the aquarium, or specifically like the tank, I suppose. Fish tank. And I don't know if this does like shaking stuff in here. Doesn't look like it. So I think that must be inside of the aquarium cursor. Portal fishing? Maybe someday we add wacky stuff like that. Yeah, magic. That'd be pretty cool. I have to think about like how I want to go about that, because there is one potential problem with adding in a bunch of magical fish. And the problem with that is it kind of devalues regular earth fish, right? Because if like the best fish ever is like some wacky rainbow fish, I think it makes all the cool earth fish seem kind of worthless and boring. So we're gonna have to figure out how to handle that. There are some ways that we can do it, because I want to keep like all these different categories of fish relevant. Because clearly a lot of people are enjoying the concept of the game just for the fact that it's like aquarium keeping. So one game that actually kind of deals with this is Adventure Capitalist, because you have like the regular zone that you're in at the start, which is just like Earth. But then there's like these other zones you travel to, the moon and Mars, right? And instead of just like keeping it in the same area, it's like a whole separate section of the game with a different currency and stuff like that, right? So I could potentially see doing something along those lines, like maybe you open up a different aquarium for your other fish. Yeah, like optional content. That's kind of like what I'm thinking a little bit, where it would be sort of like an expansion to the game, right? Obviously, I'm not going to charge people to. It would just be a part of the base game. But like, yeah, maybe you can like unlock a high tier research, and then you're entered into a whole new aquarium or something like that. So I could see that potentially working. But yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, it is a lot of work to do that. So I don't really want to, I don't know. We're going to have to see. But I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle that. Because I could do a new aquarium, but that is a lot of work. So I basically have to make a whole new like version of the game. Which is not ideal. You know, we've only got until whatever, July to get the game finished, so yeah, I'm not sure yet. Like a tropic fish. Where are those? Let me look it up. Okay. So they like, what does lycanthropic mean? Okay, just werewolf. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it could be neat. Well, we'll see. There's a lot of things that we could do for sure. Where does this do this stuff now? I think it's down here when you click on the tank, it'll do, yeah, play error down here. So we have to check if the weight, but then also now a new check, which is, we got to check the liquid type, see if it's one of our allowed types, right? So now what we're going to say is var allowed liquids is item data dot allowed liquids. We'll do that. This is going to be an array of strings. So here's the next step now. We're going to check, I think we can say Yeah, object is fish tank, so object.tank ID. And we're gonna get global.tank settings at object.tank ID. So that'll return all of that. And then I want to get our liquid type. So var liquid is that. And now we can just say var compatible liquid is equal to allowed liquids dot has our liquid. So if the capacity is proper and it's a compatible liquid. So now if I try and put a freshwater guy into a saltwater tank, it should just error out. I am going to have to put another little icon up above the tank probably just to denote what type of liquid it is. Right, because now when I put this guy in, and that died apparently. Oh, this is just a regular type of array, okay. And it died again. What is it? Tank ID is not valid? Oh, I did a capital. There we go. So now we can see, oh yeah, this is a freshwater guy. You're trying to put him into a saltwater tank. It does not work. So we're gaming there. And then vice versa, if I try and put a saltwater herring into a freshwater tank, yeah, it'll just not let me. So yeah, that works pretty well. So now you have to kind of decide a little bit more on what kind of fish you're going to actually have on display. So I think that'll be a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and add another particle in here now for just an easier way to tell when a tank is a saltwater tank. So we're going to go into tank menu. Now, I don't know if this necessarily makes a whole lot of sense, but it's, I guess the idea is you can sort of see the little saltwater particles floating around. I know that's not real. That's not a real thing, but it's just getting the idea across, you know? So it'll be okay. Where is it? Fish, here it is. Viewport, world. Wish I could see the world. I'll just call it salt particles. Let's see, holiday content. It would be cool if you could make some cool fish that are only catchable during holidays. Yeah, that would be pretty neat. Yeah, I want to do seasonal things like that, and like, I don't know, maybe one day we add in like literally seasons, like winter, fall, and spring and stuff, just to change what fish you can catch. But I'd only do that if like we get a huge quantity of fish in the game, and it gets to the point where I need to kind of have the ability to control what gets spawned. So let's see here. All right, so we have to look in here. We can see the particles there. Obviously, they're a little stupid, but we're gonna do this. Boom. So they're gonna fade in and out. And initial velocity on this, I mean, I'm not going to be super specific. But emission shape, that's going to be a big rectangle. I don't remember how wide this tank is, but I can see. 207 by 97. By 97. Far more particles in here. And then we're just going to have these guys kind of just float around in here. No gravity. Probably just something more like this. Ordering, let's set it really low. Okay, minus 20 is too much, but minus 10 is fine. And then I have to restart the game so that the color ramp gets applied. Yo, Captain Krabs, welcome in. How's it going? Cool fish tank, thank you very much. Yeah, we're just working on getting it set up so there's like different liquid types inside of the tank. So we've got freshwater and saltwater now. Just so we can start like catching fish from the ocean and displaying them properly. It always felt a little weird being able to put saltwater fish into a freshwater tank. That just, you know, sounds bad. So, but yeah, I think this should help. I'm just setting up this little like particle emitter. I know this logically, like obviously in salt water, the salt particles are dissolved into the water, but I really want a quick way for somebody to determine which tank is saltwater. So I'm just making it so that when you're in a saltwater tank, there's these little saltwater particles all over that kind of fade in and out. Like the water's a little more sparkly, you know? I know it's not logical, but it is fine. Not everything has to make sense. Sometimes it's just all about you know. Well, let's up the spread. I'll just set direction to 0. Yeah, there we go. And those can be set at 0. I want to make another virtual fish tank one of these days. Yeah, really fun. I've always enjoyed it a lot. Like I've got the one on my website. This one was kind of fun to do. I think it's here. Yeah, this one. It's really stupid, but technically this is the origin point of the tanks in Lured In. So it's funny how when you click and drag, you like you're selecting the image here. That's fine. First indie game I made was a virtual fish tank. Let's go. Yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy making virtual fish tanks. It's kind of cool. Especially like now we've got like the decorations and stuff and Lured In. It's kind of fun. Yeah, there we go. So we got the guys in there with the salt. And I could lower the opacity a little more. I just don't want to make it so low opacity you can't even really see it. But I think just something like that is enough. Just to kind of get the vibe a little bit that there's salt. Right now it's in all of these tanks. We're going to make it so that doesn't happen. Yeah, I guess on different backgrounds it's probably a lot more visible. Like this one. Alright. What happens if I set the time like really low? Yeah, it just looks like TV static. 2 seconds would probably actually be okay. Alright, so let's make it so those only show up when the salt type is correct. Or when the liquid type is salt, I mean. So we're just going to say salt particles. Oh my goodness. Let's do this instead. Viewport. Our sub viewport. I can't talk, guys. Dot visible is equal to global dot tank setting, set index, tank ID, dot get liquid type, and let's say li dot liquid dot freshwater is equal to li dot liquid dot salt water. Boom. So there we go. Okay, and that should work. Now we have to get a reference to that particle in here, so I'm just gonna say on ready var salt particles equal to that. So let's try it out. So the freshwater tanks, it should not be there, and in the saltwater tanks, it will be. Let's get rid of this algae. So nice and clean. And then this guy should have salt particles, and he does. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's a very minor thing, but I just want it to be instantly obvious on first glance, you know, like, oh, this one is not saltwater and this one is. So I might also add another little like icon somewhere in here for water type, just in the corner maybe somewhere, just so it's even easier. I might just put it like next to the full screen button or something, or maybe next to capacity up here. Just like say capacity, then type and the little icon of the liquid. Maybe that would make sense. I don't really want to do all that stuff though before you actually unlock things other than fresh water, so we'll have to see. But yeah. Okay. Now, I don't know if there's a way to disable certain sub buttons inside of one of these option buttons, and that might present a little bit of an issue. Let's go see what we can do about that. It would be really nice if we could disable those. So, we go down into here, or not into there, it's in a, let's make settings visible again. Liquid setting, and I just want to check all the functions to see if there's a way to disable an element. I don't know if there is. Okay, you can. So we're good. So all I'm gonna do now is on update, I guess is what we have to do. I have to loop through and choose which ones are deactivated. So for ion, liquid, button, dot, item count, we're gonna check all the stuff. Let's just do this on changed. That's the only thing that really matters. Right here. I'm already looping through it, really. But I'm breaking it, so it's not, yeah. So now we're gonna say liquid button dot set item disabled. Okay. And I might have another thing now for like required stuff. That's what we're gonna do. So doing some of the same things, we're gonna get our IDX. We're gonna say var ID is equal to liquid button dot get item metadata. So that's gonna return our liquid ID. And then now we say if global dot unlocked, what is it? Completed research does not have let's just do this. Can click is that. Set disabled to can click. I have to do our IDX. So our completed research must have our tank attributes table at index ID dot required research, right? I'm gonna say get required research, just in case there isn't one. So I'll say if required dot is empty, else I'll just do this. So by default, it's going to be true. And then if it's not empty, that means there's a required research that we have to have. So we'll only be able to click on it if we have the required research. So let's go back into the attributes table now. And for saltwater, I'm just going to say required research is equal to li.research.saltwater. I think is what I called it. Might be that. Let's go check our research table. Saltwater is one word, right? Yeah. So we're gonna do that. Let's try this. Try it out. Hopefully it works. Also, I think I accidentally did the opposite for the disabled thing. Now both are, yeah. Back into the code. I have to say, let's just call it disabled. It's false. And now, let's see, if required it's not empty. Disabled is if it doesn't have it. So let's try this out now. So we go back in here into settings. We can select, somehow I can still select that other one. Even though I don't have salt water. Hold on, let's figure this out. Doesn't seem to be working. So if it doesn't have it, then it should be set to be disabled. Let's just restart the game and see what happens. Oh. Yeah, I don't know why I'm still able to select it. It's a little quirky. This is unchanged. Disable is false. It's not empty. Oh, that's why. I didn't capitalize the R. Alright, now if I go in here, boom, I cannot select the salt water because I don't have it unlocked. So, gaming. Then if I go back to controller mode, I just want to test this out. Make sure I can like, select it and stuff. Yes, I can only do fresh water at the beginning. Cool. Alright. We're gaming. So I don't know why I can like kill guys so easily in the aquarium. I don't know what happened, but sometimes it just like spontaneously, like I should be able to place them here, but they just die instantly. I don't know why. We're gonna have to fix that bug. And sometimes they're fine, so I don't really know exactly what's going on there. It's pretty weird. How dirty this tank is, bro. It's kind of more fun to clean on controller, but also way slower. But I guess it's fine. There we go, we did it. Fresh water. Salt water. All our little icons. Looking pretty good in here. Okay. So I think that's most of the things. The only other thing I want to do on here now is just another little entry on the data here for the fish of like what liquid type they are. Because I think that's kind of necessary now. And I might just put a little icon here. I'm not sure. But no, I want to say it in plain English, I think. I want to say saltwater or freshwater. So into the items table. We will now, or not the items table, the item panel. So over here, visible, this is where I'm appending the label. I can't believe I'm doing this in process. I guess if it works, it works. I'm probably gonna move that out eventually though. So we'll append another text here, which will just say, you know, the type. So what I'm going to do is say global dot, or for I in item data dot get acquired allowed liquids or whatever. I call it allowed liquids with an S. Yeah, I did. That should not be an empty array. It should always have data there. So we're going to say global dot Tank attributes table. Save our liquid is equal to that. And now we want to say append some text here. So we're going to do the name and then the image. So do dot format. This is going to be liquid dot name, liquid dot icon dot get path. All right, let's see if that works now. So it should just show, you know, a little blurb, freshwater or saltwater or whatever. Their allowable liquid type. Yeah. So it works pretty well. And that guy is, okay, I see what's going on here. I'm just not adding a new line at the end of this. I guess I'll just always add a new line. That's probably a good idea. But it is indeed working. The icon on that is pretty large. It's 24. What do I set on the other icons? These are 16. I might actually increase the size of that one a little bit and then set this one to 20 also. And that feels pretty good. All right. I might also color code these icons. Also something I'm gonna do too, since the icon is built like that. I am not going to put a gap here. Right here. Get rid of the gap. And yeah, I think I'm going to color code these too, just because it'll be easier to recognize. So I'm going to do this, /color. And color will be equal to 1. Oh, let's just do 2. And then I want to say liquid dot color. And how do I get I need to get the HTML version of the color, I think. So to HTML. Like that. So now if we go back into the attributes table, I'll say color. Go into here. I'll grab just the normal blue color. I gotta put in a string. There we go. And then for the salt water, do a brighter blue. Like this. There we go. So we got those. So now if we load it back up again, it should change the color of the text inside of the item panel to be the color of the icon. Boom. So freshwater is like a deep blue, and then saltwater is here somewhere. Yeah, like a brighter blue. So yeah, I think that works pretty well. It's just a little indicator of like, hey, this is what's going on. I can move in whatever tank. And I'll probably also display the type of liquid then above the tank. Yeah, it is unfortunate that like the passive thing can then start wrapping down, but it doesn't really matter since these panels are set to like scale up as the text gets longer, so it shouldn't really make any difference. But it can get a little confusing here. I'm probably gonna, anyways, like one thing I've been wanting to do is change cache values to use like acronyms or whatever. Because right now, if you display cache, it just shows 6525261. That's like really hard to wrap your head around. So I'm gonna change it to just show like, you know, whatever this value is, 6.52 million. You know, always have like 2 decimals of precision. Once we're past like, I guess once we're past $1,000, I start using acronyms, whatever you call those. Are they acronyms or are they just like shorthand? I don't know what you call those, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I think we need to do that. So I'm probably gonna make a master script to do that. Because I have like something in here formatting in snap to int, and I kind of want to do a similar thing, but just a function that does it all. So I'm just gonna say format numbers, and this is how we'll do it. And I have another function that formats it with commas, so we'll kind of do the same thing there too. And this will return a string. All right, I'll just have a couple things in here. First off, before I do anything, right? So I'll say if value is greater than or equal to 1,000, then I say value divided by 1,000, right? Now if value is greater than or equal to, okay, we got to start with the biggest numbers, so if it's greater than 1,000,000, then we format it as 1,000,000. And then I'll just do 1,000,000,000, and I think we should be basically good forever. I don't know if anyone's going to get more than $1 billion, so we'll see. So then we just do this. Divide value by 1 billion. Divide by 1 million. And then we say value is equal to snapped f value 0, 0, 1. Okay. And then that should work. I don't know if there's a way to floor a float. Like, can I floor a float? Does that work? I don't think so. Well, it'll be fine. And then now we're also going to have a thing called var prefix, right? Or postfix. The string equal to nothing by default. If we're at 1 billion, then our postfix is equal to B for billion. Here, postfix is equal to M. And here, postfix is equal to K. So the format is like 1.1K or whatever. 1.1 million or billion. I think that's going to be a good way to do it. Okay. So then here's also what we're doing here now. Say new value, we do all that. Now if the value is equal approximately to the rounded value, then we just go ahead and return the value rounded to an integer. Otherwise, we just return, you know, the regular value over here. I don't know why this is complaining. Oh. Right, we just do that. And then at the end of this, we add postfix. And that should work. So let's try this out, shall we? Format numbers. I'll just call this format number. So if we go into, like, for example, our currency panel. And the one thing I haven't done yet is commas, so that's kind of the next thing to do. Because we have like 67 point something K. Or like 100,000, for example. I think we would need a comma. No, I guess we wouldn't even need commas, technically. So instead of saying format number commas now, for the money, I'm just going to say format money. Format number. So now you can see it just says 2 billion instead. So that works pretty well. And then I can run my commands to try different values. So I can say money 10. You can see it's already up in the thousands. And then as soon as it hits 1 million, it just turns into 1 million. But for some reason, it's not showing our decimals. So let's do that. So I'm snapping value. That's because I'm dividing it by integers. That would be why. Now it's showing decimals. Epic. So yeah, there we go. So I can say money is like 10. And it'll show things formatted in terms of the acronym, which is good. I'll have to do that in all of these different menus because we've got like, I got to format it like that inside of here for buying things and stuff. But I think it's so much easier to wrap your head around 2.2 million instead of seeing 2000000 because it's just too much. Also, it makes formatting the UI a lot easier if I'm being real, so I think this is just going to be a better way to display this all around. So, hey, random game person, welcome in. How's it going? What's going on? All right, let's see here. So now I'm going to do the same thing for the research. And the same thing for this other one, the Ascension. That one won't really do much, but it'll be fine. So now it shows 10.06 million there. Pretty cool. Yeah, this is definitely much better. Then next thing is this, which is very ugly how it is right now. So I don't remember what that's called. It's like one of these. Actually, I don't think I have a scene set up for it, maybe. How's you going? It's going pretty good. All right, so we're going to go in here, and then instead of saying snap to int, now I'm going to say global.format number. So we can see in here. Oh, that's passive research. What's the other number in here? All these. Oh, yeah. So that one, format number. I'm even going to say format number on customer account just in case that ever gets to a spot where it's like really huge. I don't think it will, but apparently all of a sudden now customer count is not a real thing. Oh, it's global.customer count. Okay. Format number. Get rid of snap to int. Let's check it out. Much, much cleaner. I can look at that and it's just so much easier on my eyes, you know. I might even change it so that I could do like a gap between the number and the postfix. And I might do lowercase instead of capital. So I want to see what like this would look like. I don't really like the gap, but I think I like the lowercase letters. The capitals are like, I feel like it makes it like harder to read. Yeah. That's pretty nice. Yeah, I really don't think we're ever going to get into the trillions here, but just in case we do, I'm going to add it. So that's a billion. Boom, boom, boom. That's a trillion. Boom, boom, boom. And then the only other one I would ever care about is a quadrillion. Because if we get past that point, the game's about to crash. Which is bad. So boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see what that looks like. So that's looking good there. And then if I do like money, I don't know what this value is. That was only 1 million. So 1,000, 1 million, 1 billion. 1,000, million, billion, trillion. Okay. Million, billion, trillion, quadrillion. So yeah, we're good up to $1 quadrillion. Nobody's ever going to make $1 quadrillion. So I'm not worried about it. I probably want to format 3.2 million to 3.20 so the spacing stays equal. Oh yeah. Is it not doing that? Let's check that out. I mean, I'm pretty sure it will do that just because that's how like Godot will handle decimals. Because I'm snapping it to 0.01 or whatever. So I should be fine. I can go ahead and return all my fish back to their inventories really quick. And just see. Just so I'm not making any money, and then what I'm gonna do is set my values so I can tell what's happening, right? Actually, there's an easier way to do this. Just swap to saltwater. Oh, I don't have enough research. Hold on. Alright. Now I can get that. Yes. Yeah, this is an easy way to get rid of all my fish. Okay, we're almost there. Boom. Okay, back to 0 money. So now I'm gonna say money is like 2.2 million. So let's just see what happens there. Is that 2.2 million? Okay, so yeah, it is not showing the end decimal there, which is a little weird. I guess it's just because of how Godot handles converting to a string. So, what I could do here instead, I could give it the spacing formatting. So I could say, where my knee? Ouch. How do you do it? It's like, it's gonna be a float. D is an integer, S is a string. I already forget how to do it. Look at how. I think that's how I do it. Which one is a float? Hexadecimal integral. Oh, yeah, it's just F, duh. So I think I can do 0 to F and then percent that. But I'm already set to do value. And then run all of that plus postfix, I think. So let's see if this works. So that does not work at all. Let's ignore the postfix part. Maybe that's screwing it up. No. What? 0 to F. Is that minimum? I want to just do total padding. Oh yeah, to the right rather than the left. I think I might have to say minus O2F. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Right, I mean, this is what I want to do here. 7.3, 8.8. Length of 7, round to 3 decimal places. And then the value. Let's try that, I guess. The format string, so we're just going to do this. Percent asterisk dot asterisk f. And then now we can just say percent an array. So I want to pad to a length of, but see, this is just total length. It's not like decimal length. So how would I do literally just decimal length? See, like right there, 0. Oh. I'm just a fool. That should work. There we go. So now it, yeah, stays to 2 decimals. Okay. And then can I just say plus postfix like that? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now when I'm making money, it should stay like that now. Oh, right, these are all like salt water now. I'll just put a couple guys in here to make some money. So let's set money to 0. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good there then. Sometimes this does get a little bit long, I notice on this panel here. If it gets too long, then it just starts wrapping. I guess with the addition of the K and stuff there, it does become a little bit of a problem. So it's never going to get too crazy long. So I think I'm just going to disable... where is it? So this node on the left. Shop stats. Just make it so that this does not wrap. Just go to inspector, and auto wrap is off so that we never get wrapping numbers there. And I'll probably set this to be... Actually, this doesn't really update like super frequently. It's only whenever you add in a fish. So there's kind of no reason to do wacky stuff there. Like if it needs to expand, it will, but it's a pretty static menu. Yeah, so we should be okay, I think. Because it can never get longer than that. So... should be okay. Alrighty. And we have 32,000 errors for some reason. Okay, that's just... I don't think those are real anymore. Because I was editing it live. So I think that's it. The only other thing I want to do is do a comma for when we're below... Actually, yeah, no, there's never going to be a comma, because if we're below 1,000, we don't need a comma. And if we ever get to 1,000, it just then becomes formatted as X, whatever, 1.1K, you know? So I think we'll be okay, actually. So let's go into the item panel. I want to modify that now. Basically, anywhere where we've said like format number comma should just become format number now. And there should be no more snap to int because they kind of all do the same thing now. So if I go back in here now, you can see these should be formatted a lot better. It definitely is. It's a lot easier to read 50K a minute in there instead of some massive string, right? Oh yeah, that's way better. I mean, I don't know why these guys are just ever so slightly higher than that. It's fine. Search should be in scientific notation. I've never really liked, I think it's kind of hard to read scientific notation, in my opinion. Just gonna search format number with commas. I don't want to do that anywhere anymore. Okay, I've used this function a lot. So it happens here. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Right here. It's much better just to have one kind of standardized function for formatting our numbers, I think. So say detonometry. Detonometry. You probably just got me. Format number. Let's see, where's more format number commas? There's one. Okay, that guy's gone, I guess. Format number commas. Okay, let's search again. That should be almost all of them. Okay, so this guy, just get rid of that now because I don't use it anymore. This guy, fix him. The money label. Fix that. And let's see. Oh, okay, just trying to make the name of, yeah, the name of your game more sayable. Okay. What's the, what does detonometry, like, mean? I guess, like, how did you come up with that name? And then let's also fix this. I don't want to use snap to int anymore because this new function inherently does that function for me. So we're good now. All right, everywhere should use my new format number function. It's detonometry right now, but people always pause before saying it. Okay. It means blowing up shapes. Yeah. It definitely is, I would say, a little tricky to say. I mean, I still felt, looking at that, I was like, oh, how am I supposed to say that? For like a second in my head, which is probably something you'd want to avoid, I imagine, with a game. Yeah, I'm trying to think like how you could fix that issue. Not sure. Yeah, I feel like it might be one of those things you probably have to take a different approach with it. Oh, you installed Godot today? Awesome. That's really cool. What kind of projects are you planning on doing? Oh, okay, so it's detonometry. Oh yeah, it shows up here actually. Oh yeah, it needs a password. Signal appearances. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry so much about a name that, like, I think the most important part about naming a game is it should be extremely easy to remember and spell, and also just say. Detonometry personally doesn't really, like, I don't understand what the name means, if that makes sense. Like, nobody really knows what detonometry, like, means. I guess it's detonating geometry, right, is the idea. But it does look like like a very medical word or something, or like some kind of field of study, just at first glance. So I would probably try and break it up into something that's like more of a common word, because there's like you could think of like different words for detonate. There's like explode, right? Or blow up, like blowometry, or I mean that's a little goofy, but even like explodometry would be a lot easier, I would think, at first glance. Yeah, it's hard. Naming stuff is really hard. That's probably like my weakest skill. It's just it's difficult. But yeah, fortunately I don't have a super easy answer for you, but I want to make something similar to web fishing with more activities. Yeah. There's actually a new game that did come out, or I don't know if it's out yet, but it's called Rift Fishing. I think it's coming out really soon. But this is essentially that. It's web fishing, but made again. But yeah, I mean, you could still do the same kind of game as long as you think that you're going into it with unique enough ideas, I guess. Because this would really be your main competitor, right? I would probably start thinking about, like, how do you differentiate from rift fishing enough for it to be worthwhile for people? Because I imagine, like, I don't know if how much money this game's going to cost or anything. I don't really know. It's possible it might even be free, and if that's the case, then it would be pretty difficult to compete with. But we'll see. What about bomb arithmetic? It's definitely better. Like, it's easy. Everybody knows what a bomb is. I mean, you could always go, like, way more on the simple side of something like Shape Bomber. I mean, that's maybe a little too simple, but personally, I think it's a lot more memorable. It's like I know how to spell it and read it. Bomb. Shape Bomber. Geometry. You could just do like bometry or something, like shorten the word geometry, because it is kind of a long word. And I feel like if you add anything else, do the full word and just replace the beginning, it's going to be really a little too complicated in my opinion. But like bometry is like more understandable, and you can still definitely make the link between geometry. It even kind of works because, like, you say geometry, so bometry, it kind of like fits the flow of how you say the word geometry. Yeah, I would just start thinking about other words you could use in there. Okay, so also the chef should now be displaying those same numbers in here too. This is a little funny. It's not formatting these. It shows 10,000 out of 1. I think I'm just not calling format number on that. So let's go into the chef's menu and start doing that. So chef menu, and then in here, amount is, yeah, how much I have in here. So I'm going to say global dot format number amount. And we'll do the same thing on the required amount, just in case for some reason somebody mods the game or something and he asks for 10,000 fish. It's a little easier to read, I think. Okay. So, yeah, and it shows how much down there, so that's working well. Like, these should be fine. It is a little weird how it shows 0.50 hours right there. So I might have another like proper argument that I pass in there just to manually choose the let's see. So I want to get rid of these because I don't want to use these anywhere anymore. and format number. So value and then the precision, right? Which by default is 001, but then I can pass in a smaller value if I want. So, and I guess I'll have to figure that out there too. How would I do that? I'd have to, I guess, convert the precision. I'll just do this. If precision is equal to 001, if we'll just do this. It's a little easier right now. I'll figure out a better way to format that probably, but I can just say 2.1 decimals. So now if I go back into the jar menu, we're in here whenever I'm doing, so offline efficiency doesn't matter. But yeah, round I efficiency. Or no, time is the one that I'm doing. So I'm gonna pass in here 0.1 now for that. So now it should display like that. I might have to exit out and then go back in because it probably only happens like once. No, it's not doing it. So let's figure out why. Could maybe do precision in a different way. Just how many decimals instead. So precision could be an int, and I'll just say 2 by default. Now here I want to say precision divided by... but see, how do I do that now? It's kind of complicated. Or I'm sure there's a way I could do this though. So I could just say like 1 divided by something like magnitude. Let's think. So let's say our precision is 2. That's going to do 0.5. I think 2 to the power, or x to the power of 2 or something like that, or I'm trying to think how to do this. I need to figure out like magnitudes. Do I just do factorial? That doesn't really work. How could I do that? To make my project paid, I would want to have a system that people who pay can create single player and multiplayer sessions, and demo users can only join multiplayer sessions. Yeah, like a friend pass thing. That could probably work. But I guess that isn't really a positive though over riff fishing, because riff fishing might even have the same mechanic. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I would think of ways to do that, like gameplay wise. Riff fishing is probably going to be the exact same as web fishing, so I think you can kind of use that game as an example of what it's going to get into. See, this just isn't working. How am I going to do this? It's a little annoying. Yeah, I need to be able to convert between the two, because I need to know how many there are. I guess I could do... Okay, one option. Get rid of that. Keep that as that. We could do like a modulate on it. It's like 0.1%, 0.1 or something, or a mod. I don't know what this is going to result in. Modulo calculator, 0, 1, 0, 1. So shouldn't that result in 1? That results in 0. So I can kind of determine how many there are? No, because it's always going to be a fraction of that, so... Doesn't work. Okay, that doesn't work either. God dang it. How many decimal places? I want to see if there's just a way that I can do this. There's a function decimals. Number precision. I also want to have more activities like farming, woodcutting. Okay, then it's definitely sort of a different target audience in that case. I think you'd be kind of probably catering more toward less a fishing audience, but more of like a survival or sandbox audience then. What is step decimals? Returns the position of the first non-zero digit. So 5 is 0. That is 4. That's exactly what I want. Okay, so I think we can finally do this now. So I'm gonna convert our precision down in here and pad it to that amount. So we'll create our string here, right? Save our steps or whatever is that. And then I want to input, right, dot format steps, save our S is that, sure. Now I can just return that. I think this will work. I'm not sure, but let's see what happens. There we go. It actually does work. Pretty epic. Just for a second, you can see that hit like the non-decimal variant. That's fine. All right, we did it, guys. Now we can specify our precision. I'm pretty sure. Now, something I want to do is like if I have more offline time, I don't have any ascension. Do I have a command for that? Oh yeah. Ascension 10? No, it doesn't work like that. Excuse me, guys. Let's figure out, let's add another command for giving myself ascension points. Because yeah, I don't think we have ascension. So I'm going to say global dot ascension is equal to args1 to int. I think that's what I want to do, because then we set total ascension to that too. So let's also say global dot, or well, total ascension we already know. Okay, let's see what happens. So if I say ascension 10, yeah, that actually seems to work. Then it lowers my amount that I can redeem. Okay, epic. Okay, so now if I unlock that, it should just show 1. Yeah. Instead of being like rounded or whatever. Then let's also make sure like all the efficiency ones look proper. Yeah, that's good. Then that's good. And then it shouldn't matter how many offline time limits I get. So can I do something crazy like set my ascension to 100? Then what does my required amount become? Okay, it's a little broken when I set my ascension. I think I'm gonna also say global.total ascension is back to 0. Just that way, if I do this, it kind of resets that, I think. Yeah, that's better. So I can still get 28 more? Oh, it's because it thinks that I haven't gotten any ascension before. So I'm going to set total ascension to whatever args1.2int is, and I think that should fix it. Now if I say ascension 100, yeah. No, it's still showing 1,000,000. I don't know what's going on with that. Because total ascension... That's how much ascension has been gathered in total, right? Weird. See, I don't know how it's calculating only 2 million, and then even though I am well above that, it's not, like, giving me the stuff. Like, it works there when I put in, like, less. Maybe it's because the value is getting so big that it can't be represented anymore. Oh, yeah, that's what's happening. So once you hit, like, 100 ascension, that the required amount for ascension becomes so ridiculously insane, it just breaks. So, yeah. I'll definitely probably make some tweaks to the way ascension ramps up. But yeah, good to know about that, though. All right. Okay, so let's see here. And that sounds scary. Yeah, sorry about that. So what's the next thing we want to work on here? We got all the new numbers formatted. I think it's going to be a good thing in the long term. Because as we get like later and later into stuff, it's going to be yeah. So it shows what type of fish it is in there now. And that should show multiple. So if we have a guy that's like freshwater and saltwater, it should show both of those liquid types in there. So you should always know, yeah, the liquid type. Okay. If I play some games that are flash-based, if I hold my Alt key and press anything, it does that sound. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. It must just be like probably a shortcut in your browser or something. I think. Okay, we got the weight. All right. And yeah, it should also be doing it on the buttons and stuff in here, which it looks like it is, so that's good. Oh, it just shows 1K. And it should also be doing it on the research, which we can see it does, so... We are gaming. Yeah, I think literally everywhere it's showing that formatting now, so... Okay. So what's the next thing I want to work on? Let's make the saltwater, freshwater mechanic a little more, you know, recognizable. Because right now there's no way for me to know if I'm picking up a fish. I don't know which tanks are what, so I need to make it so it shows like a little icon of its current liquid type, I think. So let's go into the fish tank code. Also, something I think I'd like to do is on the little weight-rich text label here that shows up. I think I just do want to make it red if the weight is full. Because I think I'm doing that right now. I'm doing something weird here. Yeah, this. I'm just gonna do this. Like that. And then where do I want to show the liquid type? I guess I could just do it in a line before it or below it or something. So we could potentially do this. We've got the weight. We're going to set that to color equal to 0. 1, 2, 3. Then now what I'm gonna do in here is say weight, or I'm gonna say a var weight color. Right, it's a type of string. Is equal to whatever it is, f. I think it's 6 or 8. Current weight is that. So then I'm not going to directly modulate it here, but just say weight color is equal to that now. And then in here, I add in weight color. I don't know why this one is complaining. Oh, we have to say .to HTML. And I will include the alpha. Okay, the next thing on the weight is we're going to say weight.text or weight.append text. And this is going to be the type of liquid it is. So it's going to have another color tag here. And then also the image tags, right? So image color is equal to 0 / color. And then we're going to have 1 and 2. So we're going to format these guys. And then what this is going to say, we're going to grab tank attributes table at our tank ID .get liquid type. And by default, it'll be li dot liquid dot freshwater. Equal to that. I don't know why this is complaining. Oh, this is has to be tank settings. There we go. So now we're appending see, that's just the liquid type. Now we're saying var liquid is global dot attributes table at liquid ID. So we can pass in our liquid.color, liquid.name, and liquid.icon.getPath. So boom, save it. Let's put a new line here. And now, if we go back into here, the tanks should also show their current water level. And it died. This fish data apparently was nothing. Oh yeah, we don't say that. I just want to say if current weight. Okay. Greater than equal to capacity. Let's try that. Nice. Ooh. Hold on. See, wait, I hate how, even though I'm setting the text up here, I don't know why, it seems like appending text just keeps adding more and more. I mean, I can just say text plus equals, and then I think it's fine. I don't know why append text, like, breaks it. That's a little funny. But yeah, it shows that properly now. I don't like how it's positioned and everything, so we're probably going to change that. First thing we're going to do here is change the vertical alignment is set to bottom, so that's actually kind of weird, because clearly not. Oh, it's probably because we need to do transform pivot offset 0.5 and 1. Oh, right. And the ratio. It still seems like it just keeps, so it doesn't even matter. All right, so what we're going to do instead then is when we say position X, we're also going to do position.y is equal to size.y. And that should keep it centered at the bottom, I believe. And we have to add the initial position, so that minus 80. Yeah, we want to do minus size, minus 80. Let's try that. So that's pretty high up there. Now, because it's centered around the bottom, so let's change where that center point is. That's at 64. That's even maybe a little too much still. That's good right there. Yeah, now it shows the water type. That second text here is way too big, so I am going to fix that. First off, for color, let's see on the image. Okay, I'm also going to do this font size. I don't know what the other font size is, but I'll set it to like 8 or something. See what that looks like. Okay, way too small. But I imagine 16 is too big. Not really. I think we'll just do 16. Okay, and then the size of the image is enormous, so we're going to set that to like 12 or something. There we go. So yeah, now it shows the liquid type and the amount of weight in the tank. Pretty epic. So when you're about to go put another fish in, it'll look like this. And I'm probably going to make it so the color of that is the same as... Yeah, I thought I did that. Liquid.color. Oh, .2 HTML. Now it should work. There we go. So it shows the proper color. Pretty cool. And I wish this wasn't affected by the modulate. I think what I'm going to do here is... I don't want to go about this. Go into the aquarium cursor. Or can I just make it so they don't inherit parent modulation or something? No, I don't think there's a way to do that. But we'll go into the cursor. I need to sit up. Hey, how's it going? How went the making of the 4-hour dice game? Yeah, it went pretty well. We ended up with a finished working game by the end of it, so that's all you can really ask for. Oh yeah, this game is out now. Made by Mrs. Pretty epic. But yeah, it's complete. It's playable. We can just play it for a second here. Let me turn it down. Let's turn off the music. Yeah, we're gaming. We did get most of the things I wanted to do finished. There's like a couple things that would have been nice to add in, but you know, 4 hours and all, so I think it went okay. I only made $1. Yeah, maybe one day I'll come back to this game and update it. I don't know. We'll see. Only if people actually enjoy it and have fun with it. I'm not making a lot of money. Yeah, you go around and mine the dice, then you roll them. And then every time you roll, you get that amount of cash. So like now I can get more speed, for example. And speed really helps. Yeah, hopefully I'll try and make a YouTube video out of it. I think it'd be kind of cool. So go get this one. I need more inventory space now. One more dice. You did the roll sounds by yourself? Yeah. I just took a bunch of garbage on my desk and just threw it down and recorded it. And it seems to work okay. Yeah, I did all the sounds, just either recordings or... Yeah, I didn't actually use any outside assets. The only thing that I used was the font. I did not make the font, but that's literally the only thing. Otherwise, I think everything else I did myself. Because it's really hard to make fonts. It's not something that... even doing it in 4 hours would be wild. Would be really hard, so... Won't be time killing? Yeah, it would destroy the challenge. There's no way I could make a font in 4 hours, so... But yeah. Oh yeah, we got a bunch of cash, I forgot. Yeah, you can buy like the dice upgrades, so it makes the dice that fall down better. So I can get better dice. Also get more inventory size, then next I'll do more move speed probably. Inventory size is pretty important. But yeah, I think it's kind of a fun little game. It's got its problems for sure, but overall, I think it went pretty well. Get more speed. Should see D6s now, yeah. These have better rolls, although I do need to get a better pickaxe. Because they take more hits to mine, but they are worth it. Let's go roll these guys. Boom. Only $9. Wasn't really that much money. But I can upgrade my pick strength, so it's fine. Yeah, I haven't actually like really played the game fully yet, so maybe I'll see how far I can get right now. I'll go for a little bit. I don't want to make that the whole stream, but you know. I should be able to like insta mine these now. No, not quite. Almost. I need more inventory space. And more move speed, honestly. Move speed is kind of epic. Oh, it's just short. I just identified a bug there, actually. I'm not going to fix it because it's not game breaking. But if you mine two dice right next to each other and then mine another one, it instantly mines it because it doesn't reset the count of how many hits you've done. Which is kind of a funny thing. It's not really a major problem, but it's something I'm noticing now. Yeah, totally a feature. Yeah, let's roll these, and I can get another upgrade. That would be good here, honestly. Speed. I can move quick now. The next probably inventory seems to be kind of a limiting factor now. I'm moving quite quick. A lot of D6s up here. Oops, I mined a D4. It's okay. Let's get inventory size, then next we'll do like pick strength. Nice. Yeah, I don't know how crazy the game can get, because I didn't really set any limits on like upgrade count or anything, so I guess you can just keep upgrading like forever. I don't know, it might at a certain point start to get really difficult to progress. I'm not sure yet. But let's get some pick strength, and then next is inventory size. Boom. Almost. If I could insta-mine the D4s, that would actually be pretty cool. Let's do it. I think this might be enough now. No, I'm a little short because I'm at 3 strength. I need to get to 4. Then instant mine those. But it does make mining these a lot faster. Alright, we're getting money. Yeah, this is just free on itch if anyone does want to try it out. Yeah, no idea if I'm ever gonna like do more with this game or not. I'm not sure. Only if people actually play it and enjoy it. I might make a cover art for it, just because I haven't done that yet. And it would be nice. So. Ooh, big money. Once I get insta-mine those, I'll be rolling in the dough, guys, literally. Starting to see some D8s appear now. Let's get another pick upgrade, because I think it'll give me... Actually, I think it only does 0.5. So I'll need to do 2 more before I can insta-mine D4s. So I need $75, and then we can insta-mine D4s. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, the game's definitely pretty repetitive just because I didn't really have enough time to like add in a bunch of cool epic content. But I think it's okay. Also, it might start to get really laggy at a certain point. I'm not sure if it will or not, because I didn't do any performance optimization at all, so I have no idea. Oops, almost there. One thing I would have liked to add is like an upgrade so that the dice drops down faster. Because right now it's always at like a set rate. I think it's 1 per second. But once you're like really end game, I think you get to a spot where you can't mine enough dice. So that would be a nice thing. Boom! Now we can insta-mine D4s. Bam, bam. But yeah, this is the problem, is now you're just kind of like, you're running out of dice. But yeah, maybe one day I'll do an upgraded version, V2 of Dice for Days. Oh, give me some big rolls. I guess more inventory size, whatever. And then more move speed, I guess, would be nice. Alright, I have 5 inventory now. More speed. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, not really a whole lot more to show off with this. I do have 2 more dice types you can unlock, so the next is like a D12 and then a D20. But they're pretty expensive upgrades, so it would definitely take somebody a long time to get to that point. I might have made them too expensive, but that's the thing with doing a game in 4 hours, is you just don't really have enough time to test the game. It's not feasible. And it's fine, that's just it. It is what it is. Let's see how much money I get from 15 bucks. Guess it's fine. Anyways, unfortunately the game does not save your data, so you can't like come back to it if you close out of it. The game since has been, yeah, because if you close it, it'll go away. That would probably be like 2 of the biggest things I'd do if I did a new version. I would make it so it saves data. Also just a couple more upgrades and stuff to make progression faster and easier. So I think the progression is a little annoying. I'd probably just do more like multiplier upgrades and stuff. I just didn't really have time for any of that, so. I want to see just how fast I can get. My pick strength is now becoming more of a limitation. Another inventory size. Quick 7 dice. Didn't even read how much I made. Yeah, it would be cool if there's a little more strategic thinking in terms of like what dice you pick up. Like maybe some dice spawn with like special modifiers to make other dice more powerful. And that would be kind of really fun. Because then you can do like combos and stuff and like hit a big jackpot and roll a huge number. Because I think that's part of the problem with the game right now, at least, is that it's very grindy. You don't have those big like swings up and down, you know? I'd like there to be more of a gambling mentality with it. I think that would make the game more fun, in my opinion. But hey, it's only 4 hours, so I probably also would have made like spacebar the key to mine instead of E, because I keep having to take my fingers off of WASD. See, I just didn't have enough time to test it. There's a bunch of 8s down there. I gotta head over there. But it is kind of fun. And I'd probably do more of a tutorial, like maybe add a little guy in that talks to you, and he's like, oh, hey, you should go mine those dice. I mean, there's a lot of things I could think of, but is it really worth my time? I've got learning things to do, you know? Anyways, I think I'm just gonna close out of the game. Kind of the same old over and over. But I'm moving pretty quick. I mean, I can keep buying more stuff and get the better dice, and that probably would really help speed things up, but so yeah. But anyways, it was fun though. Yeah, I need to do art and stuff for it. Definitely be a good idea. But anyways, on to important things, like learning. Yeah, now it shows the liquid type there above the tanks, which is good, because then I'll also show, I guess, next to the fish that you're placing down what their liquid type is. Because I kind of have that a little bit with the mouse cursor thing. I think I'm actually going to change a little bit how that works, because right now I don't like the zooming in and out like that. I think it's a little bit janky. Same with the decorations. It's just kind of odd. It's fine in other places. Like if I'm inside of here or something and there's no zooming, then it makes a lot of sense. I probably want to actually do that for like placing down these decorations. But for this in here, I don't really like how it scales like that. It does mean that the text stays readable, but I don't know. Horror Game Jam is a pretty darn good game. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it was pretty good for the time I was given, you know? But that's funny that I can select that for some reason. It's fine, I guess. But yeah, let's go ahead and change this. So... go into the aquarium, and we've got the cursor, controller cursor, the sprite 2D, which is like what the fish has, and then we're going to add a rich text label to all this. I guess I'll just do it in the corner of the sprite. Do not scroll, fit content, turn off auto wrapping. Left top. Let's do center for horizontal. So now I can show like weight and all that jazz. I don't know why it's cropping like that. That's a little weird. I don't really want it to do that. I don't know if I can fix that. Okay, I can't seem to do that. Unless it's like somewhere in like threaded, displayed text. I don't know if I can. Are there any at any point be a way to add decorations anywhere? You mean just in like spots that aren't the predefined spots? I'm probably not gonna ever do that. Just because it's a lot of work and it's gonna break the navigation of the customers, and I just don't really see a reason, personally. I mean, it's cool and all, but it's like, I just don't think it's worth all the extra effort, I'm gonna be real. Because it would take a lot of time to implement all that. I mean, maybe way in the future we do something like that, but odds of that are extremely low, I'll just say that. Okay, so I'm gonna have another thing now on ready bar. Label is that. So now, update cursor. That's whenever input type change, so yeah, we'll do that there. I'll say if... Let's see, if... what is it? Oh, not input type, that's the wrong thing. I need to say like whenever a held item has changed or whatever. I think there's probably a function after that. Aquarium.held changed. Set cursors. Info. I'll do that. All right, so the things we're going to do in here, first off, we say if aquarium.held type is equal to global.aquarium.held types.decoration elif global aquarium held type is held types dot fish, else we reset everything to be invisible. So we say label.text is equal to empty string. Also make sure that this cannot be focused and cannot be selected on mouse. Okay, so this one is just going to be the amount of money. So literally just that. Format. Global.format number. We have to get data. So var data is global.decorations table.get aquarium.held ID. So now I'm going to say data.cost. Boom. Next up, for holding the fish, we're going to do our weight icon. Right, so image/image, and then 0. And then I'm also going to add on my label to text plus equals whatever, another thing for the freshwater status. So I'm going to do, I guess, image first. And then color is equal to 1. So the image path, the color, and then the text. So this is going to be data.name. And now we're going to get var liquid data. Global.tank attributes table.get data dot. And I actually have to loop this. So for in data dot liquid types or allowed liquids. Oops. Let's do that. Okay, so liquid data is going to be getting that. Then now we add a couple things here. So we're going to grab liquid data.icon.getPath. We're going to do liquid data.color to HTML, and we're gonna do liquid data.name. Okay, let's see what that looks like. It's gonna be way too big, probably, the text, but we're gonna shrink it down. Oh, you can see it there for a second. And apparently this is all dead. I don't know why. Oops. Grabbing it from the wrong table. Yeah, now it shows up there, so it shows minnow. I did the wrong thing there. It's not supposed to show minnow. Also, a couple things we need to do. This has to be that, plus a new line. And not data name, it should be the weight. Then let's go get the path to the weight icon. So copy path, image, boom. And now this should be better. So it shows one weight, fresh water. So the text is way too big. Also, it should be unshaded. So we're going to say material, use parent material. And yeah, text is too big. And I think I am going to have it centered left, actually. Since that's like where all the icons line up. And also the icon sizes are all way too wildly different. So first off, let's down the scale. Like to 0.5 at least. That'll help a lot already. But still not quite there. So let's get rid of the text that shows up on the cursor. I think I do that in here somewhere. Yeah, right here on set held. Just gonna ignore that stuff. Boom. Now it won't do that anymore. Apparently it's still doing it. I think I just had to restart the game. Let's try this again. Okay. Now we can see, why is it still showing the freaking weight icon? Cursor icon texture should not be appearing. Oh, I think I messed this up. It's actually supposed to be like that, isn't it? Where am I saying global UI or whatever dot? I'm doing it somewhere. Hold on. Am I doing like set cursor or something, or set cursor image? Yeah, where am I doing that? It's probably right here. So I'm not... Where am I doing the weight icon? I must be doing it somewhere. Item panel, fish tank. Oh, am I doing inside of the... There's another menu I have in here. Add to tank? No. Where am I doing this? I'm doing it in here. I think. No. Ooh. I'm trying to figure out where this is happening. Okay, that shows that text initially. I had to fix that, but where is it coming from? I don't know where that's coming from. Okay, I have global UI, right? And inside of here, I have a function called set cursor image. So you would think it would be that one. But it's not the fish food, it's not any of those. But it's not running here either. So So I really don't know where that's happening. Unless it's like this. Let's search for this. Icon weight. So this is in the item panel. It's not that one. Is it this one? No, it's not that one either. Okay, it has to be this one in process. Gosh darn. So let's just hide all of this. Now I should be able to select my fish and it doesn't show it. Boom. We're good. Let's see, Rebecca Chic. Did I know what? I don't know what I'm supposed to know. Alright, so we're gonna rescale the icon sizes and maybe also the font size. We'll see. So image size is gonna be 20 on these. It's your birthday. Let's freaking go. Happy birthday, Oshik. That's epic. Yeah. Very cool. How about some birthday confetti? Boom. There you go. How about some birthday cheese time and a birthday hydrate and a birthday spin? Yeah. Happy birthday, Oshik. Very epic. See something else I want to do. I want to offset the position of this text label depending on the size of the fish. Hopefully the icon is set before this happens. I think it is. You should be able to say our size is icon.getSize or something. Oh, it's a sprite 2D, so I have to say, oh god. There I go. I don't know if a texture gives me size. I can just say get size, epic. So get size divided by 2.0. Then I'm gonna offset label.position plus equals size. Oh boy, you goobers. I don't know if the scale of the label affects the size. We'll have to see. What is this?
Happy birthday, Yukik.
Oh, I have to say if icon.texture. Then I'll just say var size by default is equal to vector 2.0. Let's go. Text to speech. Pretty cool. Okay, so that seems to work. Now you guys can't see what I'm doing anymore. Oh, it keeps adding it and adding it. I'll have to say position is equal to size. There we go. So then if I do a really big fish, oh yeah, it sets it to the right position. But it's a little too much. I think the center point might not be quite where I think it is or something. Should be how the stream is normally? Yeah, totally. Totally epic. I think I might actually need to multiply this by the size of the label, so it'd be times 0.5. Let's see if that works. Yes, that's at a good position there, and then if I do a tiny guy, that's also at a good position. Epic. So now we've got this little thing that shows the current liquid type of the fish you're placing down. I think that'll help. Oh, the cheese time is over. But yeah, anyways, this is what we got now. It'll show the weight and the liquid type. But it is a lot going on here, isn't it? I might make it so it only shows the little liquid icon, and then when you hover over it, it expands to become the text, maybe? Possibly? Because having all of it is, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of text on screen right now. So I'll make some changes to stuff like that. But yeah. For some reason selecting one of these does not work. I think I need to... Or it doesn't make a sound, right? I'm gonna go into global, into whatever it is, set up audio. Boom. And then I'm gonna check in here. LF node is option button. I want to say node dot selected, item selected dot connect to play UI click. So function s play UI click. Pass in the node. Okay, so hopefully now when I select these, I have to restart the game, but it should do a click now. Let's see what happens. Here, any settings panel, let's go to here. Still not doing it. I don't know why. I mean, that is the correct thing, right? Option button. Is it an option button? Yeah, drop down. And then for signals, item selected. Oh, it's probably because it passes in a... No, but it should be okay. Oh, but it is a type of button. I think that's the problem. Is because, yeah, option button is a button. So what I have to do is put this up at the top, just a separate if statement. I think that's what's going on here. Let's try again. Okay, so now if I do that again, not in there, in here. There we go. And I would like to make it maybe so instead of doing a full click when I click on one of those, it does like a light click. Because it is like a lot of noise. So I think I'm going to do that. So on option button, I will actually do LF then. I'll still do all of those same things. But node.press now, instead of doing UI click, I'm going to do UI click light. And I think that'll be better. Let's try it out. Exit out. Wait for the game to load. Okay, so now if I go in a tank, oops. Yeah, it just does a light click now until I actually... Because before when it does a hard, loud click, when I click on it, it just doesn't feel right. This is better because it's like you're opening up a sub panel. You haven't actually like selected anything yet, so it just makes more sense, I feel like. Yeah, it is really nice that I can disable these sub elements because that's going to be important. I need to go through and like, you know, reformat all the stuff in here, the little arrow and things like that, because it just doesn't fit with the theme of the game right now. But it should be pretty easy to do that. You can just go into here, into option button. Then there's probably just an image here, arrow. It's a DPI texture. We're just gonna swap that out now. And I already have an arrow that I drew for the other things, so I can just kind of use that same sprite. It's arrow right. I'm just gonna rotate it. Let's do this. Rotate. Boom. Now I'll just call this arrow down. And I might have to upscale it. We will see. What if I select this now? Go get our epic arrow down. And that's much better. This fits in with the style of the game a little bit better. Instead of the weird semi-transparent arrow. I do need to work on this though in here. The sub menu that it opens up, because it's not quite where I want that yet. There's also a lot of other nodes I want to improve, like we've got, what is this? What's going on here? It's got like an H slider. Weird. But just all the little elements like, yeah, sliders, volume sliders and stuff. I want to change all the assets on all those. Eventually. Trees are fine, I guess, for now. This tab bar needs changing for sure. So we got all those that we can mess with. I don't know why the UI in here feels a little weird. I think it's because this is all inside of a container here. Margin container? Did I override this? No. Must be our panel container, I guess. I thought I gave it a base amount. Pretty sure I did. Content margins. Oh, I didn't. That's really interesting. Then I wonder, what is this node in here? Is that just a regular panel? I think that's what it is. If I change this into being a panel. Yeah, it just doesn't change anything when I mess with content margins. Expand margins do stuff, but it's just content margins don't. Which is kind of weird. I don't know why that's not working. Oh well. A little odd. It's fine though. Yeah, I'll just keep chipping away at the UI elements. I mean, they're not a huge, like, massive thing I need to do right away, so I'm not worried about them, but it's just one of those things that eventually I'll go through and fill them all out. I don't like how that down arrow seems to always be like right up against the right side of the button. I don't really know why it's like that. Like, I don't know if that's a thing that I'm doing or what. I don't think that's a thing I can do. There's like icon alignment. That's not the same thing. Let's try and figure that out. Maybe there's a variable I can change. How far away that is. Arrow margin, yeah. There we go. I can just up that to something better, like 12. I mean, honestly, even more, like 16 feels better. All right, cool. Then we'll also change like these funny, weird, high-res option things too. Same with the sliders, those need updating. There's a whole bunch of nodes. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, I think. might actually make this arrow a bit more low res. Just so it fits with the UI better. I might scale it down to 8 like this. I'll just do this. And then scale it back to 16. And then save that again. And now I think it'll just, yeah. This looks a little better with the vibe of the UI and the pixelation on the font and stuff. So that's better. Yeah, we're getting there. Lured In is coming along, guys. I don't like how that looks, actually. Let's go back. So now, like here, these look much better now with the new arrow. Yeah. Pretty cool. Those are the same. I do wish I could do like the button text was rich text label text so that I could color it and stuff, but unfortunately it's not. I mean, the only option would be I could like make a custom button class with a rich text label above the button node. But that's kind of like a whole thing that I don't really want to do, so I don't know. Well, I just want to run the profiler in here for a second, see if there's any code that's slow running in the process. Fishtank.process is actually quite slow now. Just because it's generating the text. So it's not super slow, but we can make that better. We can go into the fish tank script, and then in here where I calculate all of this garbage, I don't bother doing any of this unless the tank is hovered. Whatever it is. I can just say if weight is visible. So Azcon on YouTube, welcome in. How's it going? So all of this now can go in there. I don't know why that's angry. Oh, right, I don't actually use that anymore, do I? Okay, so I can hide that. Shape Sploder, yo. I think that's definitely an improvement for sure. Because I instantly understand what the game is about then. I hear shape, I know there's shapes involved. And Sploder is just, you know, exploding, like blowing up stuff. So yeah, I think you're definitely on the right track with that for sure. Yeah, Shape Sploder. Shape Sploder. I think that works pretty well. But anyways, what this game is about, this is Lured In. It is an idle fishing game. You can travel to different regions and catch fish and then return back to your aquarium and put fish inside of your tanks to make money. So you can like go to the pond, catch some fish. We'll wait for a minigame to start here. There's upgrades that you can buy to increase the rate at which you get bites and stuff. So there we go. You play a little mini game. You catch a fish. Boom. I got a bluegill. He drops into there, and then now I can plop this guy in my tank of my choosing. So like wherever I want. Right here. Now he's just chilling in there. Let's clean off the algae. I can feed him. Get a little boost active. Yeah, you can customize your character. You can unlock research. There's a bunch of different upgrades to buy. There's Ascension. These are like, you can reset for some different powerful bonuses and stuff. Yeah, pretty epic. So I need to fix that issue with the chef. Randomly, it seems like sometimes he just plays his ding again. I'm trying to figure out why. I know that I have... I mean, that should be fine in there. He's not going to arrive multiple times, right? So... at the beginning. Let's test this. If I leave and come back, he shouldn't play the ding, but I'm just gonna wait a second, like 5 seconds. And do I hear a ding? I do not. So I don't know what would make him randomly play the ding multiple times. It just seems like something's not right. So arrive.play, this is what happens when arrive gets called. So it'll happen instantly, but it's not instant, so it doesn't play arrive. So that's literally the only spot that sound plays. We can check in our aquarium code. This is when like it attempts to spawn in a new chef. So if active chef, return. Actually, I think I might know what's going on here. Maybe. Because there's no active chef. This is where we spawn him in. But no, I do that on here. I say activate chef, and I just immediately do that. So we have a reference to the chef. I don't know how a ding would be playing. I don't think it's possible. I'll keep an eye on it, though. If I hear it, then I'll try and fix it. All right, let's reset the wait text. Let's see what this is. What is this? Oh, it's not called wait text. Whoopsies. Let's go fix this. It's actually label. Label.text. There we go. Let's try this out. Boom. So now the label is invisible unless we go to place down a fish and then it shows up. Pretty cool. So for all the text around here, yeah, I think I will make some changes so that like if you're not hovering over it, it doesn't appear there. Make it so like it just shows the little water icon, and then when you hover over it, it updates to show the name label also. I don't know if I have any code for determining whether a tank is hovered over or not. We have selection box, and it'll set selection box to be visible when it's hovered. So I guess that's the way that we can kind of check that. So I'm just going to make a little minor tweak in here, which is adding the text here. So liquid.name. Going to create a new variable. Right, so it's going to be equal to that by default, and then we say if selection what is visible, then we say name text is equal to liquid.name. So now you can see when I'm holding this, boom, it just shows a little icon for the liquid, and then when I hover over it, it actually like updates and shows the full text of the name. So yeah, I think that works pretty well. Because you can kind of look at that icon and be like, okay, that's a saltwater tank. Easy enough. But yeah. But then it just kind of specifies. I think that'll work. Cool. So yeah, I think we're gaming there. Despise that name, but it seems to work. Yeah. People don't trip over it as much and have the suffix for the process of measuring. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of check all the boxes for sure. I think it's on paper a much better name. Just in terms of like explaining the concept and readability and stuff like that. It's all easy stuff to spell. Like shape and splode, that's very easy. Yeah, it's just more obvious what the game is about too. Yeah, this is always kind of the dilemma, right, with naming stuff is like you want to name it something cool and epic, but also it has to, like, with naming, you want it to, the name to explain what the game is about. So it's always that, like, difficult line that you have to tread, making a game sound cool and also making sure people know what the game is about. I think I tend to err on the side of obvious game name just because I think that's probably matters more. Like, I can mention lured in, and I feel like people would pretty instantly understand the connection between fishing and the name of the game. And I feel like that's what you would get out of Shape Sploder, where it's just a lot more obvious what the game is. So, but yeah, this is why naming things is hard. It's annoying, but I think it gets the job done. What's going on in decoration spot process? I'm not going to worry too much about optimizing the game because it already runs really fast, but I'll do little bits here and there. So this is just setting the visibility there of the frame. Okay. That could definitely be changed. I might still need the process event for doing the sine wave, unless I change that to be a tween, which is another option. I do need to do that for the scaling, but only when the UI is visible, so I don't need to do that constantly. Yeah, I could probably eliminate the process event on the decorations. But I'm not super worried about it right now, because we're running at like 300 FPS, and it's fine. So, it's a very minor problem. I'll worry about it when people actually get down to 60 FPS. Or even like 120. 120 would probably be the point where I'm like, okay, I need to spend some time and optimize a little more. But I don't think we're even close to that right now. I would think a different sound for when you close a menu. I think that would be a little nice feedback thing. Like, something, you know? I'll write it down. Different sound for closing menu. Go add some things to our change log. So, added liquid types. Liquid types. They research to unlock saltwater. Acceptable liquid types to all fish. Then we made some changes to like the labels. Change the tank information labels to show what liquid is. And yeah, that's good enough. Okay. So the next thing, one of the things I'll probably do is make it so if you hover over a tank that has something like wrong, like let's say that your fish is a freshwater and you hover over a saltwater tank, I want it to like, maybe the text there starts like flashing red or something, right? Just so I know when it's invalid. That's probably what I'm gonna do right there. The weight stuff I think is fine. I might make it so if you do have a fish that's over the limit or whatever, like let's say it shows 0 out of 5, then you hover over it, I could change that text to show like 1 out of 5. So I'll say update weight label when hovered. So I'll probably do that. Those are very minor things. But that's kind of, we finally got like the big gameplay constraint worked out, which is good, because that's something I needed to figure out, is like, how are we gonna, I can't let people go to the ocean and add it into this next update if it means people are going to be putting their fish into fresh water. It just doesn't really make any sense, I feel like. So I think it's much better now, because it's like, okay, these guys are clearly a different kind of fish. They're saltwater. And this also gives you like ways to sort by fish. I'll eventually start doing all that. But yeah, you can like just be like, okay, saltwater, I can't put them in freshwater, only saltwater tanks. And there's that extra research, so it kind of encourages you to like fish just at the ocean for a little bit, to catch fish and just sell them immediately, and then later get the saltwater research to start displaying the saltwater fish. And I kind of like that system a little bit, just so selling becomes worthwhile, and then displaying for passive is better. Yeah, it is coming along. I need to add in more upgrades and stuff. I'll start working on that eventually. But the fish in the ocean should increase your income quite a bit, so I'm excited to see what happens with that. I need to go through and like, you know, fix all the pot fish drops, and also fix fish income values, because they're all kind of broken right now. Let's see, what about explanometry? I don't think it's as powerful as Shapesploder, just because it's kind of hard to say. It's like, do you say explonometry or explanometry? Or it's like, it takes me a second to read and think about it, which I don't think is good, in my opinion. I think what makes for a good game name is something that you don't think about saying. Like if we just like look through all these, like Shell Diver, Counter-Strike, Timberborn. It's kind of very easy, I feel like, to read it and say it. Some of these are a little harder, but like Chillquarium, but it's an aquarium. That's a common word, so it's not like too weird. Dice a million. They're all just like normal words. Most of them are. So I wouldn't go too crazy with it and do like explanometry, because I just think it's geometry. I mean, it's a word a lot of people do know, obviously, but it's not like a very common English word. I'm not really talking about geometry as a term very often. Yeah, I do think like simplifying, take what geometry is and simplify it into a word that's easier to say and read, like something like shapes, right? I think it's just a lot more straightforward that way. But yeah, it's always hard to say. I mean, naming stuff is hard. There's no way around it. So I would just keep workshopping different ideas, just, you know, jot down anything that comes to mind. What I always do when I'm naming stuff is I typically like think of a bunch of words related to what I'm trying to do. So like, okay, I'm making a game about fishing. So I think of just a bunch of random fishing words, like fishing lure. And I think about cast and rod and fish and all those things. And then another thing I typically do too is I try and think of like common like phrases and things. So I look at a fishing lure, and it's like, lure, how do I interpret the word lure? Well, lure is like, you can like lure someone in. So like lured in is a possible name, right? And there was a bunch of other names that we came up with using this kind of method, but lured in was the one that was like the super easy to read and spell and understand. Yeah, I would just recommend doing that kind of thing. I'm sure that's what you're already doing, but just in case. But yeah, anyways, I think that's probably going to be it for today's stream. We got the saltwater stuff done, which is the big thing. So yeah, I am going to keep working toward getting this version ready to go for the playtesters. There's really not much more to do. I'm just going to go through and like fix some of the fish balancing, because some of these guys have wacky numbers on their like passive income and stuff. Like they're just way too high. They shouldn't be like that. So I need to go through and rebalance all those. I'll probably, yeah, just a load of things. I need to make it so the command menu is only visible if you like enable cheats or something in here. Because I don't want that to just randomly be enabled. And yeah, just other little miscellaneous quality of life things. And I'll just keep working on all of that, and hopefully the game will feel pretty polished. That's really the main thing I'm aiming for with Lured In, is making it as polished as possible, because that's what matters with this game. I think that's gonna make the biggest difference, right? Also, like the fishing mechanics here need a little bit of tweaking. I need to make it so you can't cast outside of the window. I'll just do a check, like if you cast out here or something, or I think what I'm gonna do is make it when you're pointing up, it kind of limits the distance that you can go. So you get almost like a oval shape in where you can cast, instead of it being like just an arc, if that makes sense. So I'll make it so if you're like pointing way up here, the distance you cast is divided by your angle. So you can only cast half the distance you can, so like to right there. I think that's just gonna make the fishing feel a lot more, it'll fit the screen better, I think. So I'm gonna work on that, and then also make it so that there's like little things that spawn in that you can catch and stuff, right? Because that's gonna be important. So anyways, I will be working away at all that. Yeah, hopefully we'll have a version ready to go either tomorrow or Sunday for the playtesters, and then we'll put out the public version, public playtest, like, I don't know. Thursday is probably gonna be the play. Give ourselves Wednesday. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get to Voice of the Void today, but I'll try and do that tomorrow. Because I would like to play and try out V9. I really hope they fixed all the issues I had when I did the experimental version. I am a little worried that it's still gonna have all of the problems and nothing's gonna actually be fixed, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Why does it show the little companion of the lamb thing on my screen still? Oh, it just says, no, let's make it invisible. Go away. Okay. Anyways, let's go find somebody to raid. Stop. Okay. There's a couple people streaming today. A whole load of them. Dobbs is doing stuff. Let's see, what is Ryan doing? Multiple resolutions. It is quite hard to do multiple resolutions. What's Kolslowski doing? What is this game? Seaman game, huh? Okay. We'll raid Dobbs, since Dobbs raided us on Wednesday. But yeah, thank you gamers for coming in. Feel free to grab Starground on Steam. You can wishlist Lured In and also sign up for the playtest now, which will be opening up next week. But yeah, happy birthday, Oshik. Let's start the raid on Dobbs. Thank you gamers for coming in. We'll be live again tomorrow at 3:30 MDT. So I'll see you all then for Voice of the Void and Lured In stuff, as always. Yeah. Bye everybody. See you later. Bye bye.